Welcome to the place where dreams come true, where everything you want can be yours, if and only if you're willing to work for them, you're willing to hurt for them, but most of all, you're willing to be first for them. Look, I'm going straight to the top. I don't know how I would stop, like it or not. I got some goals that I'm hitting. You hear what I'm spitting, it's hot. Look what I got, whole lot of passion and pain. The road to success is insane. Stay out my lane, cause I'm on a mission. I'm getting what stands in my way. Yeah, I'm a beast, I wouldn't play with me, baby. The way that I'm training is crazy, and I do it daily. You wanna talk about drive? I got more drive than Mercedes. I've never been lazy. I'm in the room, it's a red alert. You wanna compete? Well, get better first. I got 10 toes in the dirt, push through the hurt just to show them my worth. I'm the best. Yeah, I'm the best. I never stress. I know what's next. I'm who they test, like we playing chess. But I'm unimpressed, so now let me flex. Yeah, I'ma work through the struggle and hurt, cause I know my worth, and I gotta be first. Yeah, I gotta be first. Look, I don't want anyone's sympathy. I understand what is meant for me. I give my focus and energy. If it's meant to be, then it's meant to be. But mentally, I'm undefeated. They hear that and say I'm conceited, like there's no reason. Like I don't beat them and come back again just to teach them that when you work under pressure, you reach higher measures. They'll try and bring you down, but you cannot let them, and only get better and focus on cheddar. Eye on the prize and you'll become a legend. Like, when I'm in the room, it's a red alert. You wanna compete? Well, get better first. I got 10 toes in the dirt, push through the hurt just to show them my worth. I'm the best. Yeah, I'm the best. I never stress. I know what's next. I'm who they test, like we playing chess. But I'm unimpressed, so now let me flex. Yeah, I'ma work through the struggle and hurt, cause I know my worth, and I gotta be first. Yeah, I gotta be first. They don't know what's gotten into me, how'd I turn pain into energy. Through all the struggle and hurt, remember my worth, and that's why I gotta be first.
to our final day of Snapdragon Pro Series action live here from DreamHack San Diego. We've had a fantastic weekend so far, and today we get to crown ourselves a Brawl Stars champion to close the whole thing out. I'm your host, Glitter Explosion, and I'm joined by the gang, Trav, Reddy, and Kenny, to walk you through the culmination of our competition. Are you guys excited?
I mean, today's the day we see who comes out on top of Season 2, so I mean, if you're not excited, you know, what are you doing?
It's happening. We finally get to see the winners of the Season 2. Oh, it's just so exciting.
I mean, it's the biggest day of Brawl of the year so far. We're in a beautiful city of San Diego. No better place and nowhere I'd rather be.
Okay, well, today is obviously the second day of our Brawl Stars competition. So if you missed it, we're going to take a look back at the bracket and show you exactly what happened. On the upper side of the bracket, it was STMN and Tribe who made their way through the first matches, seeing each other a little bit later on. And then moving down, we had Wash Team and West Coast dropping down. Wash Team did make it through, and then STMN lost to Tribe, putting them down in that lower bracket. And Tribe being the only game that secured a spot in the finals right now, which means today we'll be kicking things off with that lower bracket. But we got to talk about some of the storylines that happened on day one.
I mean, starting things off, the first two games kind of went as expected. The underdogs did lose, went down to lower bracket, and then we saw this game happen. Wash Team versus West Coast was where we kind of found the most excitement throughout the day, really. A massive, massive reverse sweep coming in from Wash Team. And as you can see here, they're on match point now. And from this point, they had 5 match points as well and still couldn't close it out.
It was a reverse sweep and then some because, as you said, 5 opportunities for West Coast to go ahead and close it out. And Wash Team just kept their heads in the game, really fought through this gauntlet of a match. And West Coast, unfortunately, just were not able to close it out. But Wash Team knocked them out. They head into the competition today.
Yeah, they really woke up at a perfect time, and I might add they did so in a very unconditional way. You saw the Mr. P highlights, and then you get the Jesse highlights here. That's a huge confidence booster, especially after dropping it 3-0 to Tribe Gaming just moments before.
Yeah, well, I mean, talking about Tribe Gaming as well, they did well. They did very, very well. They started things off strong against West Coast, knocked them down, and then after that, we saw them come out on top against STMN, who have had 2 massive sweeps against them in the past couple of games they played. They beat them in Seattle 3-0 in the finals, and today and yesterday, they're looking for the revenge. Yesterday they got it, and they're going to want to finish things off on top today as well.
Revenge tour here for Tribe Gaming, but they might just have to do it again if STMN Esports are able to fight their way out of the lower bracket finals. It could be another comeback story for STMN, but Tribe Gaming are sitting high and dry at the moment.
Yeah, it's a really good team, and obviously looking to reclaim their throne. Oftentimes talked about being at the top of this region, but STMN got the best of them last time. They're going to have another opportunity to prove themselves today, but STMN, no stranger to comebacks.
And obviously, one of the biggest reasons they're all here is trying to secure those spots in Masters. Well, it was STMN and Tribe Gaming that nailed down those 2 NA spots on day one. They've got to feel really good about that. And now all we have left are those last 2 spots for our APJ region, and that will be determined the first week of May.
Yeah, and as you can see here, this is the standings now. It is still subject to change. Tribe Gaming are sitting on top because they are still in that upper bracket today. So definitely in a very, very good position going forward. And obviously lost Masters as well.
Well, as we prepare for Masters, it's an important thing to note that no one makes it there alone. We want to take a quick moment before we get started to thank our SPS presenting partners at Samsung, giving us some of the best devices up on stage, just top class in mobile gaming, some lightning fast displays, brilliant stuff, and all the tools in the toolkit to help you make it up on stage.
Obviously, huge thank you to all of our partners for helping make this entire event possible. It's been so fantastic so far, and we're about to kick off today. So let's start talking about that lower bracket matchup that we mentioned earlier, because it is time to start talking about STMN versus Washed.
Well, STMN, we'll talk about them first because they are probably the favorites coming into this one. Bobby, Q-Sans, OG, and Czar. They had a little bit more of a successful day than Wash Team yesterday. They got through that first round of upper bracket, but after that, they got knocked down by Tribe. And Wash Team, they're going to not want to knock them down that 1 peg further today and knock them out.
Well, if we're just looking at set number 5, they found themselves in the same place, just on the cusp of that double match point. A real close match, but they did manage to take out, at least according to them, their main rivals, West Coast, in the first match of the day, quite handily with a 3-1 scoreline.
Yeah, and of course STMN, the global leader in gyms grab. Seems like a trend for North America for whatever reason. We just contest over those gyms a bunch. STMN, the best at doing it.
Yeah, well, I mean, on top of that, I can't even make a point about Europe as well, because we've only got 1 sitting at the right to the bottom in 5th, and on top of that, we've got 4 NA teams, so definitely seems to be the region that knows how to play the gem grab.
Certainly so. I mean, brilliant stuff here in North America. Excited to get into the competition, but STMN, they're not the only horses in this race. They have some fierce opponents across the way in form of Washed Team, who met a similar fate, but still managed to advance onto this day, going on to that double match point and just barely making it out over West Coast.
Yeah, they dropped their first 3 sets in Tribe Gaming, but you know, it can happen to anybody. They make a nice comeback there a little later on in the day, and Wash Team have really solid matches in their resume for the regular season, yesterday as well. Fantastic roster. They can absolutely get it done. And like you said, they're definitely a horse in this race.
Yeah, definitely so. And I mean, I must say, you know, I think they obviously are the underdogs coming into this one. STMN being the team they are, being the team and the achievements they have. Last season they came out on top, and obviously still have a chance of doing this once more. But Wash Team, they've got to get through them first.
I mean, we got a chance to catch up with Wash Team a little bit before the event and chat with them about what it means to be here. So let's check it out.
Mi nombre es Payne, juego para Wash Team, soy de México.
Soy Betuchis y soy jugador para Wash Team. Creo que las fortalezas de nuestro equipo son la confianza que tenemos como equipo y la comunicación que tenemos.
Creo que nos entendemos muy bien y nos complementamos.
Debilidades, ¿cuáles serían? Creo que las debilidades que tenemos como equipo son que algunos jugadores tienen una paciencia muy corta. Creo que para cualquier jugador competitivo es un sueño ganar un presencial y más que nosotros que estamos representando a Latinoamérica.
No, una total felicidad. En especial yo me quiero sacar esa espina de jugar al más alto nivel en un presencial.
Yo creo que sí somos los que no somos los favoritos y sí nos sentimos así.
Pues sí, lo vemos diariamente. Creo que la crítica es lo mejor para mejorar.
Significa mucho para nosotros, ya que el año pasado por temas de papelería, de visas y todo eso, pues nos quedamos fuera y era un sueño que teníamos desde hace muchos años venir a nuestro primer presencial.
Creo que sin duda es algo a que todos aspiramos. Creo que venimos con todo a poner en alto a Latinoamérica.
Creo que es el sueño que tenemos ahorita, el objetivo, y más representar, digamos, en un mundial como es ir a Japón, representar a Latinoamérica.
Wash Team feeling it.
Whew. I mean, we talked about this on the first day as well. You can tell just how much it means to them to be here up on the big stage.
Certainly so. I mean, representing their region and also coming in as some dark horses in this competition. A lot of people, myself included, didn't expect to see such a rock star performance from Wash Team, considering this is their first LAN as a team.
And of course, speaking of rock stars, look at the man himself, Bobby, rocking the shades. Cool man on the field, and of course, a LAN demon. We'll see if he brings it here today, but maybe this will boost his stats a little bit. I don't know, maybe he draws power from the shades.
Yeah, let's take a little bit of a look at the stats, see how the teams are matching up before we get into the game and see who's the favorites coming into it. 7.39 to 6.65 KD for those STMN esports players. Wash Team, on the other hand, not looking so good. 7.6 to 7.9. They're sitting with just about that negative KD. Need to improve that coming into this one if they want to come out on top against the Titans of STMN esports. Super-wise, STMN are on top, but only by that narrow margin.
I will note it is very, very close on the stat line, and even if it is a sub-1 KD for Wash Team, you see just how many kills they're able to pull off. Such an aggressive team, really speaks to some of the brawlers that they play. Will STMN be able to withstand that for us?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, Wash Team are certainly going to contest them here, having a nice win over West Coast. But now, Wash Team versus STMN, our first one of the day, and a huge one at that.
All right, well, the picks and bans look like they are ready to go, so that means Reddy and Kenny are going to start things off.
Fun stuff. Let's see how they get started here on Shooting Star. Very first ban phase coming in. P's and B's, please. With 3 bans and 3 picks per team. A lot of influence to be gained here from having that very first pick as we move into such a long range map as Shooting Star. And already bans coming through. Love that tick ban on the side of Stamina.
Yeah, it was a safe one as well. In this day and age of Brawl Stars, it's going to be Shooting Star, a lot of times known for that long range. But once those indestructible walls jumped in, throwers became much more viable. Look out for things like Sprout. Grom, obviously an option here too, since Tick's off the leaderboard.
Like the Bell selection as well, or at least ban-wise from STMN. Certainly a sort of an irritating brawler to be facing versus, and if you had that last pick, you can get in close range with a long-range brawler. Watch Team gonna get a pretty long-range brawler for themselves. Grom being their first selection, one of the most impactful brawlers in the game at the moment, and very worthy of that first pick.
Yeah, and of course, Piper on the other side. That's going to very likely be a Bobby selection. Nani, a lot of the times, played by OG. A couple comfort brawlers, to say the least. Oftentimes, Bobby talked about and regarded as one of the best Pipers in the world. The sharpshooter skills on this guy, unbelievable.
We love to see the Piper, Marley. Here comes the Nanny as well to accent it, and I think this is actually very wise for STMN, considering one of the main things that you can do on a lane versus Piper is pick that Nanny, get a brawler of similar range. However, there's still other options for Watch Team if they want to pick up a Mandy or something at comparable range to both Nanny and Piper. It is going to lock them into something that is very long range and not provide them really options to deal with something in close range. Here comes the Fang from him, and we already touched on this. They love some of these aggro, some of these brawlers like this, and it's going to be effective for countering out the Piper, but it still can get countered by the last pick of STMN.
Yeah, this is going to be a really interesting situation. I mean, brawlers like B often do pretty well, and the tank counters do well on this map, but you don't want to go too hard into the shooting star kind of traditional long-range sharpshooters, and I actually think this might be a little wise of them to select Fang. If you go with the Grom first overall, you're leaving yourself susceptible to kind of these tankier brawlers like Fang. He's got that extra range with the boot, and to power him up, they're going to be going with Gus, a great utility brawler, somebody that can use the kooky poppers for a little extra damage, but more importantly, give that Fang the shield so he can get really aggressive.
That too. It might be a situation where Stamina is still forced to go for something in fairly close range because they don't have a whole lot in dealing with Fang at the moment. They could flex onto that Piper gadget. Here comes a Sprout selection from STMN. It seems like they're more prioritizing dealing with Grom than dealing with Fang, and they'll seek other ways to deal with him, perhaps. Piper running that auto-aimer gadget that gives her knockback in close range. Even Nanny trying to use some of those supers in close range to knock Fang back.
Yeah, Sprout very likely going to be played by Czar here as well. And really interesting, I think they knew that they could take a thrower at the very end. That's where that draft strategy comes in, right? Very unlikely that Watch Team are going to go for a second thrower. And if they do, well, it's a draft. STMN can adapt and punish that. And I think this is the composition it seems that they wanted regardless. And to kick things off for the day, a little bit of shooting star for both of these guys. It's going to be a really fun one to watch. An excellent weekend. Two really good teams to be here.
And one team that I expect to really come out on top, or at least show ourselves the best performance here, is STMN Esports. This is their mode. They are so good at bounty. However, the comp looks better for Wash Team.
Very interesting start. STMN rushing to that blue star, going to be picking one up of their own all the way on the back lines. This is a game of momentum. You want to be the last one to strike, but right now it's STMN with complete control. Bobby keeping his distance. Nani peeping bound. There goes the watchtower to defend, though, and Grom, for now, is going to stay alive.
Great defense from Watch Team. OG did get a fairly early Nanny super in, a little unexpected, but if you can keep that sort of momentum, it's a good outlook for STMN. Already wall break for Bobby. It's going to help him a bit in that 1v1 with Frixie. On the right side, though, OG needs to start breaking open some of these walls. There's not a whole lot of area for Pain to reside in, but he's still able to push things back quite effectively, just trying to hit these shots. For the moment, Watch Team on the back foot. They do only have a 1-star deficit, though.
Yeah, that choice, I think, of opening up the wall on the top left-hand side there is going to allow for brawlers like Bobby and Nani to shine. And speaking of Nani, here comes the Nani peep head connection, 400 HP, going to be able to stay alive. And OG, a couple times now, dangerously close to picking up a takedown.
Czar needs to stay out of range. Messages trying to line up these shots, not quite able to do so just yet. He's still looking for that first super of the game, but Bobby and Czar playing effective footsies, keeping him just out of range and bringing him dangerously close to his own demise. Czar almost getting tagged up here, did have to pop that gadget to restore his wall at the same go. He doesn't really have a way to tank a whole lot of damage. Great connection from Bobby with the homemade recipe. Bench is also taking a lot of damage as he's cornered on the right side. Stamina Esports still firmly in the lead, but only by 3 stars. A big push from Watch Team in the last 20 seconds could make a victory happen.
STMN really letting their foot off the gas pedal. Bobby with a desperate jump in the air, going to be opening this entirely. They're going to have to rely on their dodges. There's one pickup, 3-3 response from OG, though. 5-3 the scorecard, but a takedown there. Blue Star gets traded. Bobby strikes back, though. Nani Peep connects, and it's enough here for STMN to hold on.
Back and forth, but STMN Esports ultimately come out on top. It did look a little shaky there towards the end, though. Wash Team seriously started to come back, but we didn't see really big moves from the Fang, and I think that's what we need to see in the next one.
Yeah, Fang's certainly a brawler that we have to keep our eyes on. He's somebody that needs to get up close with these guys, and sure, he has the foot that goes that long distance, but it doesn't do nearly the amount of damage that a roundhouse kick plus a super would do here. Also, OG got a ton of supers. It was something I definitely noticed. So off the start, got to be really careful. Can't feed that early, because once Nani gets that thing cycling, it's really dangerous.
Well, might be able to get it cycling once again. Already one connection from Bobby on the left side. Puts him 3 stars in the lead, and Czar is sitting nice and pretty with his 1 blue star added to his collection as well. Bit of a lane switch up also for Wash Team as they flex Betages onto the right side. It's not doing them a whole lot of favors so far as they haven't gotten any kills just yet, but only suffered 1 defeat as well. Frixie on the left side trying to dodge out these shots from Bobby. Bobby's getting very aggressive and now going for the wall break with the backstep on the left side. Payne still trying to force things back, but no major moves just yet. As the clock ticks down, it's going to up the pressure. Here comes a big super in from Betages and the connection. Czar tries to follow up, but he's getting dodged. Never mind. Final shot, and Payne falls in turn. STMN Esports now 5 stars in the lead.
Yeah, with about a minute to go, much more aggressive than our game number 1, and yet again, another 90 peep inbound. Fang can't tank this one now, needs to dodge this very carefully, winding it up. Piper actually gets taken down here, but the connection to Payne, Watchtower not enough to defend. 10-5 now, STMN lead.
45 seconds remain. Wash Team still plenty of time to bring things back. If they're able to make some big moves with Betages, then they could follow this up. Frixie still pushing things back on the right side, has that super at his disposal if he wants to power someone up, give them that extra damage with Spirit Animal, but it just doesn't seem like a possibility at the moment. He needs to get in close range of Fang to make this happen. Good connections from Bobby on the left side, keeping Betages back. Czar also taking major damage, but that's not the kill shot. Wash Team have just 15 seconds to make it work.
And they're going to be on the back lines once again. 5 stars, the difference maker here. Payne flanking right, the wall defending left. Here comes the ground bomb in play. Connection to Czar, low HP. A takedown to OG, but they need one more. Bobby strikes, though. There's 1 kill for them. A takedown on Payne, a jump through, and 3 stars are just enough. STMN taking our first set of the day.
No response draft-wise at all to the Fang, and what did it do for him? Well, yeah, nothing. They still won. It was great. Great gameplay for STMN, and it goes to show once again that you don't have to have that draft diff. You have to depend on your execution. STMN Esports doing it beautifully, not dropping a single game.
Yeah, that was really impressive stuff. I mean, especially in game number 2, I think they kind of ran away with it there. They get those early kills, and again, I talk about it a lot when it comes to bounty, but pacing matters. The last team to strike is oftentimes what wins you a match. So the ability for Wash Team to kind of be on their back foot that whole time, stamina can stay aggressive, and then just when they know they need to win, slowly back it up. And, you know, they're in a corner here, very scary, but they're playing this clock very carefully with 1 second on the clock. Bobby, of course, taking off to the skies, and he's indestructible at that point.
Bobby's just one of the best Pipers in the business, and there was one moment where he charged into the enemy defenses that had me scratching my head a little bit, but they still come out on top, so can't really argue with that. Plus, in those really clutch moments, those final seconds, he's still able to get that invincibility from jumping up in the air, having the super at his disposal at the perfect time. Still, pretty close scoreline here. As far as the stars, as far as the damage though, not even close. STMN cranking out 3 times the damage of Wash Team.
Yeah, I think that really reflects the difference that this set was. You know, we saw Wash Team the other day have some low moments, but certainly some really high ones as well. I think they just got to be confident, stick to what they know. It worked out really well against a team like West Coast, where they were kind of making these really random picks and things like that, seemingly Jesse, Mr. P, and now they're going to be going to another kill-based mode. It's going to be Gold Arm Gulch. They're going to have to find a different way to approach this one.
Do love to see some Gold Arm Gulch when we've seen STMN in particular take some different approaches. In the past, it hasn't always led to success, but they can follow through. Something in particular like the Daryl doesn't seem to be the greatest move for them historically, but could come back. No coach, new mentality, just could be. A lot of it comes down to who gets that first pick. And judging by what Wash Team have selected as their bands, they might actually have that last pick. Grom and Tick can be frustrating to deal with as a first pick. And also, I don't think they want to face the Piper Marley.
Yeah, I mean, they learned their lesson, right? And many have in this North American region, so no Piper allowed. Going to be a Gene pick as well, one of Bobby's most played brawlers in the past, so definitely no stranger to that one. And I think a very safe one, too. You know, there's ways they can counter it. We saw them use a Mr. P yesterday. Maybe they go crazy and do it again today. Eve with her spawners, typically another option that people will look for on Gold Arm Gulch. Don't know if I'm necessarily expecting that, but it's certainly an option on the table.
And Wash Team, they're no stranger to some unorthodox picks. We saw them shut down West Coast with a Mr. P, so really anything's possible at this rate, but with the gene selection of STMN, got to be considering some things. Obviously not Carl, he's banned out, he's quite countered by Gene, but there's the Sprout. Yeah, you do kind of get countered by Gene on the Sprout. You can still get pulled through the wall, have some of those walls broken up, but it's a good thing to have at your disposal. And they do have last pick as well, so I am wondering a little bit why exactly they picked it up so early. Maybe it's because they don't want STMN to have Sprout, and they also don't want to play Barley.
Yeah, of course, several good brawlers on the board, including somebody like Bo here, 43% pick rate, and for good reason, too. A lot of utility he brings to the table, can apply a lot of pressure with those mines, but back to where we were before. It's going to be Nani. You know, Bounty, KO, they have some similarities. Obviously, the map's structured a little differently, but when one kill makes the difference, having a Nani super, having that Nani peep travel across the map and dish out an insane amount of damage, a huge difference maker for any team.
That, and you stay safe and sound the entire time. There's no risk of dying while you have that peep out, looking for any opponents to take down. You got that autofocus going, pump out a ton of damage by having it circle repeatedly around the field. And then lastly, yeah, you can have Tempered Steel active, get that shield blocking out a ton of damage. But in close range, you could be out of luck if you're not accurately prepared. Bonnie's gonna be here to do that job. Tons and tons of health to work with.
Yeah, Bonnie's a really fun one to watch. I think there's a little bit of diversity in what she can do. She can stay tanky, but she also fires the long-range shot. And of course, when she jumps out of that cannon form, it's really awesome to kind of see that. There's the Eve, and I think for having Jeem on your team, it makes a lot of sense that they pair this together, right? They don't want to expose themselves to a counter play, so they're going to pick up the Eve themselves. Very interesting draft here for Gold Arm Gulch. I don't feel like we really see these three brawlers necessarily have insane synergy, but just given how it's gone, I feel like it makes a lot of sense they end up selecting this last.
I will comment again, though, they haven't done anything in form of responding to that Sprout because they already do have the gene, so they must place a lot of confidence in this. We saw this exact same thing happen in set number 1, where there was a power pick on the side of Wash Team, and Stamina decided, yeah, we're not going to do anything about it, we'll just deal with it. Colonel Refs on Wash Team is going to be a fairly good selection, though typically not the approach that we would see. Yeah, you'll be able to power up one of your teammates, get them a bit of extra damage, particularly Nanny, I think, here is going to profit a lot from that when she has her super, but breaking down walls is not usually something that you want to do when you have a Sprout on your team, and it's usually one of the main things that you do with Colonel Refs.
Yeah, there's a little bit of conflict of interest there for sure, but maybe just trusting in his utility is enough for them. It's something that Stamina used a lot in 2022 especially, and Colonel Ruff's still sticking around. Great way to power up teammates, like you said. We're getting off to set number 2. We'll see if Wash Team can respond differently in this one.
Well, certainly hope so. Otherwise, this could be over quickly as Team Esports looks so confident in set number 1. We'll see Bobby start things off, taking sort of a mid-roll, closing around that left side, while OG and Czar occupy the right lane, doubling up. But Wash Team have all of their forces on the right, and they're blocking out some of Bobby's shots with those sandbags. And this has got to be what the Colonel Refs is for. Have those sandbags on cooldown already. Pretty close call there for OG as he had to retreat around the left side, and Wash Team now starts swarming these bushes on the right.
Yeah, really good shots coming in from Wash Team. Made me super nervous for OG in the fact that, you know, he does have a getaway option at all times. Also think this gadget and star power choice from Colonel Ruffs makes a lot of sense here. Now a cutoff on this top left-hand side. Those are gonna have to back away, and for now it's STMN just kind of building up that utility. It feels like Batuchez has hit a lot of shots, and now another Sprout wall being cycled there too. Clearly, this is something that they want to own for themselves.
Big moves in from Czar, already around the left side, kind of blocked off by that Sprout wall, though. Good defense from Wash Team so far, and brilliant plays enabled by Snapdragon Elite Gaming, our partners over there. Great pull there from the Gene, and also around the right side, OG goes down. It's a 2v2, a very close call. Czar and Bobby barely staying alive. Frixie's got to make a hero play, but it's just not possible, and Czar remains alive.
That was insane. I mean, what a transaction going down there. And honestly, the thing that stood out for me was that unfortunate miss from the Nani peep head. I think things go very differently there. Bobby with a bold pull, though, doesn't quite connect. But now Batuchez needs to be careful. Sandbags going down. Shots shredding through them. And for now, he's going to be able to breathe. All of those teammates sticking together to take advantage of what Batuchez and his star power can provide.
Payne all powered up as well by the supply drop. Frixie, much of the same. Good outlook for Wash Team as he continue to push things back on the left side. Bobby and Czar both on relatively low health, going to be using some of those magic puffs to stay alive. OG also just staying out of range. Has no gadgets left though, so he doesn't have an escape plan if things start to go awry. They gotta finish things off in this round, otherwise they're gonna be left high and dry without any gadgets at their disposal, with the exception of Bobby. But so far they've done a pretty good job of occupying this mid area, but they don't want to play too aggressive that they end up forfeiting any kills over to Wash Team, but they want to make sure that they don't end up getting trapped out of spawn in OT as this gas starts to close in.
Very interesting supers going down. There's one pickup for the boys on Wash Team. Czar out of the form as well. Low HP goes down. It's going to be Wash Team picking up a round for themselves.
Great response from Wash Team so far, but no, they're pretty much out of gadgets just like STMN. No one has those green buttons at their disposal anymore, of course, except for Nanny, who has that return to sender still available. Has a super available too, if she decides to use it. Might wait for the final moments here, but we saw how Wash Team, oh no, big pull! Pain tries to block things off, might be able to forfeit this. Czar on the left side, left alone, and Frixie and Betiches remain alive.
Wow, and all in all, it's Wash Team that actually come away with the advantage here. 2v1 scenario, Czar in that kind of Leon-esque form, trying to do his best to dodge. All they have to do is get a few chip shots here, though, doing his best. Nearly powered back up in time, but it's going to be Wash Team taking their first game of the day.
Great gadget economy from Wash Team. They managed to extend those a whole lot more, and I think that propelled them towards victory in the later stages of the match. That and stamina, you could see them getting a little bit more hasty with how they were trying to charge the Sprout. They knew just how frustrating it would be to get stuck out of mid as that poison started to close in, at risk of, you know, getting choked out by the poison as they have no method of entry into that middle area. Wash Team just raking in the profits from that too.
Yeah, this is always an interesting start here. I think for both of these teams, they have so many valuable supers between the Nani Peep, Jean's pull, Sprout's walls. Colonel Ruffs can even do a little bit of damage, but more than anything, power his teammates up. And there's that very valuable super. Here comes the Bell inbound, going towards Czar. Doesn't quite connect. That's another miss in this set for them. They need to be careful, though. End up picking up the kill anyways, though. 3v2 scenario, STMN at a deficit right now.
Still possible for them to pick up a bit of an advantage in the next round if that's what they're focused on at this point, because they can get some supers. OG and Bobby both thinking about this. At the same time, trying to deny supers to the enemy team. Not a single, not impactful super on the playfield at the moment. Bobby has his super and OG has his. It's time to play defense, avoid giving any charge to enemies, and try and go down that poison if things start to take a turn for the worse.
I like this choice of a Sprout wall, and it's crafted pretty perfectly. At this point, STMN not willing to deal with it. They don't want to feed any more supers than they already have in Pain. Of course, collecting his super back, some of the value that that gadget brings is now he's going to be able to start off this one with a clean wall.
Now really min-maxing out here too. Wash Team just getting whatever they can. The exact same for STMN Esports. Early hedge placed down for Pain, blocking off some entry to that mid area. OG seriously locked down on this right lane. Gonna get some good shots in on Pain, though, who sort of has to retreat. Another hedge down. Czar denied entry on that left side. OG on very low health, but Betiches cannot pursue. Bobby, Czar, both standing firmly in the mid area. Bobby has the pull. If someone gets a bit too aggressive, he knows the position of the sandbag on the right side, but Pain's still going to be hiding behind it. STMN Esports have no problem just waiting for the perfect opportunity, but the longer they wait, the more time that is for Wash Team to start cranking out some of these supply drops.
This looks like it's going to come down to the wire. Great shots coming in from Betiches. It's going to force OG away for now. They still have that pool in their arsenal, though. OG can get some spawners out if needed to, but now Pain with over 6,000 HP. Of course, being powered up by Betiches there. Frixie holding on to a super of his own, too. This is really going to come down to the zone closing in.
Almost looks like a strategic retreat from STMN Esports. That could be what it is. Step back for Czar as he now charges in. Betiches left alone. It's a 1v1. Frixie stays alive. OG takes a lot of damage. Good dodges and the round victory for STMN Esports. Real nail biter here, just coming out with the skin of his teeth.
Yeah, these Nani supers are so valuable, and they can go a long way, but it was almost just a sitting duck in that moment, taking 3 shots and then ultimately missing anyways. I think that really cost Wash Team there and a real opportunity for them. Missed pull from Bobby, OG super weak as well. STMN have to be careful in this scenario, because if they drop this round, they drop the set.
Could be possible too. Wash Team are looking fairly strong at the moment. Bit of a side switch too, as now STMN moves over east and west coast, or rather Wash Team, well, on the west coast of this map. And they're certainly looking to push in into more of the central area too. Now with the hedge down, the Pain trying to occupy this area, but no one's really biting Bobby, just biding his time on the bottom side, looking to charge up this super bit by bit. Waiting for the perfect moment to launch in, but no supers just yet.
Wow, and a huge pickup there too. Wash Team with the numbers advantage, and here comes the Nani head. Czar trying to dodge. It's a connection though nonetheless. And now low HP. Eve falls, and Wash Team all of a sudden tying things up.
Wash Team bite back, and yeah, very cool reaction from the guys up on stage too. Bruce at the helm on the far side too, with Frixie on that device. What a set from Wash Team, what a comeback too, but certainly a fighting chance for STMN. Did not look like the Sprout was that ignorable for them though.
Yeah, STMN, of course, are defending champions from the last season, but they're being challenged by some newcomers. These guys have had to earn this twice, finally making an appearance at the LAN. And yesterday, they started off not super hot, but this is more of what we saw in the latter half of yesterday. They popped off against West Coast, and now they're being challenged by somebody that beat them. They've tied things up. They've gotten this early. They don't have to worry about that reverse sweep as much now. They've already seen themselves win a set. And I think for momentum, for a confidence boost, that matters so much.
Absolutely does. You can tell that Wash Team, they don't really give into that momentum too much, while other teams self-confess, like, yes, we do get affected a lot by momentum. Wash Team, they bite back with a 2-0 of their own. Both sets so far today have been 2-0s, dominating ones either way. And I think this is a lesson for STMN. You have to respect the picks on the opposing side.
Wow, and you can kind of see it there too. A lot of heals going down for STMN, but more importantly, over 100,000 damage in knockout for Wash Team. You know, when spectating that, I definitely wouldn't have expected that, but I mean, that kind of puts the icing on the cake, right? Makes sense to me that they ended up winning. Sometimes it's that simple.
It can be that simple, and sometimes it's as simple as when things aren't really working out, you gotta go for some change. Cute Sands now subbing in as well for the side of STMN. I mean, that's one of the benefits of being a four-man roster is you have specialists that come in for certain things, and as set number 3 approaches, we got Sand up on the podium now.
Yeah, I love this for STMN, right? You know, there's a lot of strategy that goes into it. Since you can substitute players, you can specialize on different maps, different brawlers. So if there's a certain strategy that they're looking for, they can just rotate their players. They got 4 great guys. Why not use them?
Precisely that, and now sneaking into sneaky fields with a few sneaky picks too. Stamina going for that Surge ban, as well as a Crow and a Squeak ban. They don't really seem to like that Crow or Squeak. We've seen them ban it quite a lot in the past. Wash Team also kind of leaning into the same ideas with the ban of B, Ruffs, and Max. Don't want to allow those tanks to be too good, rather looking for the mechanical difference and also draft-wise as well. But 2 major tank counters banned out so far. Who has that first pick?
Yeah, it's a really interesting choice, right? Because if you expose yourself to the tanks, well, you can go the other way and try and counter it. Im's one of those counters, but you still need to be careful. I feel like the skill level of brawlers in general, you know, Im's back in the day, super hard tank counter, but when it comes to brawlers like El Primo, like Daryl, you know, if they have their roll, they have their jump, they have mobility, and up close, Im's does not do nearly as well as keeping that distance, being that area controlled brawler. But as a first pick, it makes a lot of sense, right? It can still apply a lot of pressure on the enemy teams, especially on sneaky fields. If no wall break gets chosen later on, she is super valuable.
There are some ways to deal with it, though, as long as you're able to get in close range. She only has 3 friend zoners to deal with, but we've seen just how it can be executed with, especially with Tribe Gaming making some magic happen the other day. Those friend zoner plays at the goal line. Now, Janet coming in as a selection from Wash Team. No real complaints from me here either, because you have that drop the base, you can pop it down, get some good chip damage on enemies, but more importantly, suss out enemies in all of those bushes.
Yeah, I'm kind of holding my breath, just kind of waiting to see if anybody makes the bold move of jumping in with a tank. Maybe not this early. Otis, another great response. A lot of the times on sneaky field strategy especially, it either ends up going really tanky or it goes the opposite, right? Everybody's kind of wanting to make sure that nobody gets the first go at it. But as I say it, the old trash man is here, and it wouldn't be an NA Grand Finals day without Mr. Ash.
Yeah, well, let's talk trash. I mean, this is a great pick, I think, from STMN. The Lou also going to be a way of dealing with that maybe being countered out, now not available to Wash Team at all. So 2 major tank counters picked up by Stamina, and only 1 for Wash Team. They do have a final selection, but it won't really be one of those power players that they might have been looking at for the outset. Of course, Payne, being one of the best Ash players around, was probably hoping to get his hands on this brawler. Now it's unavailable. You can go for the next best thing, though. There are other viable tanks here, like Daryl or something like that.
Yeah, you can see the jitters coming in from Wash Team now. This is a tough spot to be in, right? This is a really solid composition for STMN. They've got Lou in the mid, Ims for that area control, and Ash just to get up in people's faces. They end up going with Spike. Certainly can do well into tanks, but it's going to take a lot, right? He's a squishier guy, so if Ash sneaks up on him, that's the name of the game, right? That's the name of the map. It's certainly possible that they could struggle into this. I could really see this going well for STMN, but of course, Wash Team have tied it up. They've had some crazier drafts, and this isn't really crazy. It's just, I'm kind of loving this STMN.
I do like this for STMN. I'll take an opposite angle with the Spike pick. I think that usually if you see Spike as a last pick, it's just such a such a underwhelming last pick because it's such a decent brawler. That's really what it is. A little bit lackluster when you have all that power in your hand to counter out everything on the opposing team. The Spike, just good at everything and not really a specialist in any area, but Wash Team can still make a do with this brawler at the helm. However, they do concede that mid area fairly early on. Frixie's gonna get some good taps in here. Zar falls quite early. Now Frixie pushes in on the left side. Takedown onto Pain and onto Frixie. Sands and Bobby just barely alive, and Sands has yet another super to work with. But Betich is determined to move into the enemy rampart. Zar manages to take him down quite easily. Easy freezy around Wash Team's side. This has got to be an easy goal for STMN.
Yeah, I think that's a tough situation, right? A lot of brawlers going down there, but ultimately it's going to lead to Wash Team just falling back. Otis is a single brawler. It's no visibility for him, right? This is a lot of bushes on the map, so even if Bobby is low HP, sure, we can see that, but he's not going to have that information. He's not going to know Bobby is cooking back there trying to regain HP, and now Bobby's just trying to keep his distance right now. Sands dribbling the ball in the backhand line. There's the stun going down onto Ash, but he's just waiting for the ball at this point. Can he get it off in time? Yes, he does! No! It's blocked! Frixie stopped it! Zar can still walk this in, though. I was holding my breath. The goalkeeping skills kind of kicked in there.
They really did, but STMN kind of held their breath too, made sure that they kept their heads in the game and didn't have any sort of slip-ups or forfeits there at the goal line. Good stuff for STMN. Wash Team, though, it seems comp-wise, they weren't really equipped to deal with this kind of speed. You saw they banned out the max in hopes of dealing with that, but the speed gear is just as good in the bushes, and Bobby's already popping this thing off, moving around that left side at mid. One takedown, could be another. Betich is trying to make do with some of these robotic rats, but already it's just a steamroll through. 13 seconds in, and STMN already have one goal up on the scoreboard.
Yeah, it's just looking too easy for him. I feel like brawlers like Janet just aren't equipped to dish out enough damage to take down somebody like Bobby. Even Batuches, as good of a tank counter as he can be, he has to have that super. Zar leading the brigade on the left-hand side, though. Pain forced to fall back for now. Sands now dropping the ice rink on the ground, and honestly, Zar just bullying them up top, staying really aggressive. Going back for this ball now. Zar just going to corner at the top left, as Frixie's going to be forced to play defense.
Along the way, Sands has been doing such a good job of stymieing really any push that comes his way, and now he's stymieing the defense, the potential defense at the goal line. Bobby, though, is going to be silenced on the right side. He's ready to receive a pass. There's just not any ball placement that could get it over him. Frixie's determined to defend this, and Zar is going to start to stir things up a little on that left side. Bit of a defensive super placed down. Zar has no passage through over there, and a gadget pot by Betiches to get them a bit more area control. But you see, they're really out of gadgets. Not a single one left on Wash Team, and STMN simply power through all the way to this ball, and not a single defender remaining. Zar just an easy pass to Sands, and there's the final move, slots it right through Payne's legs, and STMN Esports close out set number 3 in a lightning match.
That was the most convincing set we've had all weekend. I really like their draft. We talked about it before. I just don't think the Wash Team was equipped to deal with that. Janet, a great brawler, and on stinky fields, maybe every once in a while, I love to drop the base. The mentality, right, is to try and put that down, get some visibility for your teammates. You know, it's a really valuable thing, but Ash is just so beefy, especially when he's just using that speed gear to climb up the map. There's really nothing they could do unless Otis has a super, and even then, has to be a focus for multiple brawlers on their team.
And look, if we zoom out and look at an even bigger picture here, I think this paints the idea of why STMN Esports is such a rock star roster. Repeatedly, they were able to do unexpected things in the draft. We saw Wash Team, they did not pick really any tanks and not major tank counters either. They wanted that as their last selection, and STMN Esports said, I don't think I will. I don't think I'll let you have that. And Wash Team were like, well, I don't know. I guess I'll pick the Spike, whatever it takes, man. But it simply was not enough to stop STMN Esports. It wasn't even close to enough, given that we saw a goal within just 13 seconds off the very first pitch in Game 2.
Yeah, and it seems like Sands was for Brawl Ball as OG back on stage going to be gaming here. It seems like it's part of their strategy. Obviously, like we mentioned, when you have 4 really talented players, you can kind of keep them fresh, keep them rotating, and just really practice the maps that you want, the brawlers that you want. Obviously, each of these guys so fantastic at what they do. So it's going to be back to Coach Cute Sands for now.
I mean, I will admit, when Sands got subbed in, I said, well, yeah, you got some specialists in here, but I didn't expect him to just be in for one set. He must be really specialized for Brawl Ball, but I'm all here for it. It's leveraging that 4-man roster. Everyone has their specialties, and you're able to min-max some of your abilities on different modes when you have access to a 4th player. But now we move into Ring of Fire. Much more control-based, a lot less aggro-based. It's time to start controlling that hot zone. And STMN, what? brawlers are they going to be banning out here? Ring of Fire lose a fairly popular ban, or at least it was once upon a time. You can play aggro on this map too, and we saw SGMen take a bit of an unorthodox approach to this versus Tribe Gaming just the other day. They went the Leon aggressive and had OG play that brawler. He's not really an aggressive player, more of a control guy himself, so it is possible that we see him do something like this again.
Yeah, it's really unique to see what they did there. I mean, the Leon is something that we don't see too often, so the fact that STMN brought this out last time could, foreshadow what they do here today. But honestly, in the ban stage, pretty traditional stuff. There's a Meg, there's a Crow, there's a Penny. Nothing really standing out to me as too nuts. I mean, Lou, like you mentioned as well, and that first pick going to be the Stu. I think the Stu can be really solid here as well. Somebody that can drop that speed zone, can climb you up the map, and Ring of Fire especially, that can be very valuable.
Absolutely, and of course, one of the other things that you can do is get out of range of those tanks. You're able to consistently dash away. And as they say, don't get hit, right? Of course, it's not that simple, but at this level of play, some players are just that good. And Stu is a great tool for making that happen. Still, there's some ways of denying him if you have some spawnables that are able to block up some of those single target shots, and then he's absolutely equipped for the job. Here comes the Amber selection from STMN, and this is one that we have not seen a whole lot in a while, but this is kind of STMN's brand. This is sort of what they do, and they'll be probably trying to burn up some of those bushes on the opposing side and get firmly locked in that area.
Yeah, Amber can be really valuable, and like you mentioned, there's the Leon again. It seems to be a brawler they're sticking to. Similarly, how you can use this speed zone and the entry-level bushes on your side. You can kind of do the same with the lollipop drop. I feel like it's a little harder to pull off, and the range not nearly as large, but nonetheless, it's still really effective, right? If you are invisible, if the other team cannot see you, you're going to have an advantage.
Visibility is a very important commodity in Brawl Stars, and it's why we see Vision Gear run so many different places. And for Wash Team so far, I'm not seeing super viable brawlers that could be using that Vision Gear to see inside of the lollipop drop. Still, here comes Pam peppering some enemies from afar and getting some good vision onto them if she desires. Those lollipop drops aren't going to last for very long, and they're only going to enable players to step on that point for just a couple of seconds at a time. That said, though, there's still other options that they have at their disposal. They need to be focusing down on how exactly they're going to move Leon out of those bushes on the home side. They need at least 2 brawlers to effectively pinch him out of that area.
Yeah, I feel like the Pam pick here actually makes a lot of sense to me. It's been a solid brawler on this map for a really long time, but kind of all the scrap shots that Pam sends out can kind of fan and hit Leon, especially when he's invisible. That's really valuable to have. They're going to go with Janet, which for a similar function can do the same thing. We saw them use this last time. I'm a bigger fan of the Janet on this map, though. I think it serves a better purpose. You can fly in the sky, apply pressure, drop off at any side of the map you want. Also, the drop the base, still very solid here to keep the enemies off of the hot zone if needed.
I'm typically a big fan of Janet, but here I'll sort of start to question it a little bit because Salmon, they've already picked Amber. She'll be getting free supers to chuck over the wall and burn up that turret whenever it gets placed down for Janet, except in just the beginning stages of the game. So it does get me a little bit worried. Here's a B selection from Stamina as well, and I see nothing on Watch Team that can effectively deal with this because it is such a difficult range matchup. It doesn't matter if you're that good at dodging. A lot of these brawlers are going to be 2 or 3 shot by B's shots, and even then, they'll get slowed down if she doesn't have the easiest time of tracking them. So this is going to be a tough matchup for Wash Team, but they're no stranger to making this stuff work. They like to go these mid and short range brawlers, and they can make it work in this matchup as long as they get the mechanic diff. Question is, are they tilted, right? They are potentially on the cusp of going to a match point.
Yeah, this is another really unorthodox comp for me for Wash Team. I think the Janet pick at the end, leaving B on the board. B, a very solid brawler, and of course, OG going to be playing the Leon. They love having a little aggressive flair to him. I think it's always really fun to watch, but for now, it's going to be Payne in the mid. Batucha is taking his time, and until he charges up a super, Stu's not going to be nearly equipped to deal with this B.
Not at all, but he still can get some of these dodges out here. It's going to be tough in such a tight corridor on the right side. Czar knows exactly where he's positioning himself. That said, Wash Team still do have the lead for now, but not in terms of men on the field. Betches is going to be the next to fall. Payne trying to get some damage out here, but it only lasts for a microsecond as Czar continues to fire down. We repeatedly see him on the right lane in these kind of maps, and he just owns. Doesn't seem to be able to miss a single shot as he now pinches in from the top, and it's just over for Betches. Team and Esports now take back the lead.
Yeah, commanding one at that too, at least in terms of positioning, but now Payne with enough HP can push Bobby away. Really good stuff from STMN. This is a game mode, especially if momentum swings right. Spawn trapping goes a long ways, and thankfully Wash Team didn't fall into that trap. For now, it's actually going to be a real back and forth as OG gets the best of Payne there. Frixie now in the skies looking for a kill, but Tucha skating up the map. OG goes down 50 roughly percent for each side.
Great dodges from Betages, but he dodged right into some of that fire from Bobby, but it's just mutually assured destruction. They both fall. Wash Team take a marginal lead. Payne has to recharge some of his health on the left side, now regenerating, and STMN Esports regenerating some of their offense too. OG pops down that final lollipop drop, and Zar and Bobby retreat into the shadows. Wash Team, though, seem to have some kind of vision as they are still consistently hitting these shots, though there is the looming threat of Zar firing these guys down, high-powered B at his disposal, but still not able to connect that final shot just yet. Betages on that low land ping, dashing around, but they all fall. Frixie now in turn, and STMN Esports get the retake.
Yeah, this is their advantage. They now taking the lead here. Speed zone going down, and Batuchas needs to pop off now. No super available. Shots from Zar. Bobby fanning the flames out, now 90% and climbing. It's looking real clean for them, and with only a few percentage points left, STMN forcing the first match point of the day.
Amazing performance for STMN, and look at them, just calm, cool, collected, another day in the office, but I gotta say, much of the same for Wash Team, and a very impressive stunt by them to take as much percentage, as much control as they did with some of the brawlers that they had selected. It's really the mechanics diff in a lot of these departments, but especially as we see the Stu gameplay come out from Betages.
It's all about the kills and getting an early start here. They need to own the zone earlier, something that Wash Team did really well last time. They got to pick up those lanes. It's a tough one going against Leon. Frixie with control for now. Bobby forced away with low HP. It's one advantage that Pam has, especially when she gets the healing station down. You kind of just cycle out HP. You can be much tankier, even more tanky than she already is. Over 20% now for Wash Team.
Oh, here comes what I was talking about. Bobby throwing that super right over the wall and taking down the drop the base gadget from Frixie. He falls soon after. Now OG gets to advance to that powerful position we saw him in repeatedly. Now popping that invis, having Invisi-Heal active. Mover in the backside. Payne saps away a lot of his ammo, and actually a great reaction, but they've had to forfeit a lot of mid control in order to deal with that. That said, it is a 3v2. Bobby and Zar remain alive as OG now starts pressing forth from the back lines. STMN Esports back off the point, and Wash Team just barely take back this lead, but it's short-lived as Zar is just pumping out so much damage.
Yeah, 3 brawlers standing for STMN's really going to hurt Wash Team's odd, especially without a Batuchas super. Frixie has one, but he takes it to the skies if he does so, and then he can't touch down in the hot zone until he lands. This is looking really good for STMN now, but Payne trying to do something about it. Bobby holding on to a super. Payne with a scrap sucker. The healing station manages to stay up, but Batuchas on fire. 60+% now. STMN continuing to climb.
You gotta find a way to get OG out of this left side, but already one life claimed so far. Payne goes down to OG, now gets another one onto Frixie. Betages is trying his heart out, no help over here on the right side as he now has to press forth into both Zar and Bobby. It's a point of no return unless Wash Team have something to say. STMN Esports now get the team wipe. They've taken them down. Down go Wash Team, and STMN Esports advance on to the grand finals.
Wash Team, it's been fun. They had an awesome performance, but the Kings are ready to defend their title. It's going to be a rematch of STMN versus Tribe Gaming in the upper bracket. It's going to be a fireworks show.
Oh, it certainly is, and I'm not just talking about Stu. It is the Titans clashing once again. El Clasico Part 2, and it was a hard-fought victory too. STMN Esports pulling off some important and impressive stunts today. Wash Team did give it their all, and I'm very impressed by their first LAN showing, going toe-to-toe with such opponents like West Coast, and now STMN Esports, and pulling off some pretty good performance.
Yeah, they've more than earned the respect of many, and mine especially. I think, you know, having to earn this kind of twice to finally get here after some LAN issues the first go around, you know, it's really awesome to see them perform, and not just perform, but perform well. I think a great showing for them. This is a team that the region needs to be aware of, and of course, they will be. The regular season, they excelled as well, but 21 kills to 7, you know, in that set, it really makes a big difference. I mean, kills aren't everything. It's all about being in that hot zone, but it really allowed for stamina to be in control.
Look, like them or not, Wash Team, they are here, and they are here to stay, making a statement, taking 3rd place, and STMN Esports now advance forward 21-7 on the score line. Brilliant stuff for STMN Esports, and of course, we have FDOT on the stage with Bobby, because he's got something to say.
What's up, guys? Yes, I'm sure Bobby has something to say after that. Shades on! You're going to finals. Just GG's to them. Excited to head on to the finals. We got some stuff planned. We're pretty excited.
Now, you guys are already qualified for the big show in Tokyo. Does that make this one less? Are you guys putting your feet up, or are we going to see everything on the field?
No, actually, we have a really important pregame ritual that we do that we're currently undefeated with.
What's that?
We can't say what it is, but we tested the waters here because we got to win 3 straight, and we want to pull it off so it stays strong.
Can you give me a hint on the ritual?
No. No, nothing.
All right, I guess that's it. Tight-lipped, but the wallet could be big. So we'll see you, man. Good luck out there. That's Bobby, shades on, and like I said, mouth closed. We're not getting much else.
I mean, they still have finals, so you can't spoil the ritual yet.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to be working so far, so why not try and carry it on, you know?
You can't give away the secrets this early because, yes, Tribe Gaming is awaiting them in the final round.
Well, it was 3-2 yesterday. I mean, I respect the journalistic efforts of FDOT there, but I don't, blame them for not. It worked in the first one. It might work in the second.
Well, maybe we can find out after finals. But before that happens, Trav, we watched the whole thing in the back. Let's talk about what we saw.
Yeah, I mean, there were some interesting games, some big plays. Some of the games were quite close, but it did seem to be quite stamina-focused towards those last 2. Looking at the first ones here, though, I wanted to kind of focus down on the endings of these games because both of them were so close towards the end. CST men getting pushed back quite heavily off the start here. They're throwing out these kind of last hurrahs that they've got. The back return to sender there as well, and he does a good job of staying alive. Zar almost uses that one to stay alive, but then it's just Bobby with the massive clutch here. Really, really nice to bring those stars back in their favor once more, and I think it was really solid. Something very similar happened in the second where they kind of lost the lead and had to pull it back once more, and I think the games were just so solid off the start.
They're certainly capable of bringing that heat too, but Wash Team fired back even harder in the next set, and STM Esports, they sort of rolled with the punches. They knew their enemy. They started to learn exactly how Wash Team are playing this strategy, even knowing that, yes, the counter comps, the counter picks can come out, and they can resist the force in a lot of departments, but sometimes you do got to pay some respect to your opponents, and sometimes you got to bring in the specialist too. Sands looked so clean when he was brought in for this set.
Yeah, really awesome stuff to see. I mean, STMN popping off in Brawl Ball. A lot of that thanks to our partners at Samsung Galaxy, of course. But this Brawl Ball set was so dominant. I think this really goes to show the ceiling that STMN can bring. And all 4 players today, we see Sands in this one, really managed to display that they're the best in the region.
Yeah, we were talking to OG out the back, and he was saying they bring Sands in these Brawl Ball sets just because of how strong he is in these aggressive modes. He literally, I'll quote him, he's good at running in a straight line, is what he said. I'll say that. So it wasn't the biggest compliment, but it was something. We saw some good goals though here as well, and STMN took the first one quite quickly. See, 1:10 there, they'd already had the game swept up and done. And looking at the challenge final averages here overall, STMN have bumped theirs up that little bit more, and Wash Team have got even further down. We saw both of them being quite similar, and especially that Wash Team, that KD was almost even, but now it's been kind of lengthened even further apart by STMN.
Can you really blame them, though? I mean, they're facing STMN Esports, such a storied roster.
All right, well, now that we've made our way through that lower bracket, let's check it back out again, refresh everyone's memory on what we have coming up right around the corner, because we got those lower bracket finals done, and it is STMN up in the finals for a rematch from the upper bracket going up against Tribe Gaming. This is going to be a fantastic finals, but we're going to send it to a break. But that means we also got to give all of you amazing folks at home an opportunity to win some really cool stuff because you have been hanging out with us the entire time, okay? We've got a giveaway courtesy of all of our amazing partners. So if you want some sweet prizes such as a Secret Lab Titan Evo, cases of Monster Energy or Brawl Stars, and Clash of Clans merch boxes, go do it. Sign up right now at our pinned tweet on the Snapdragon Pro Series Twitter account, because trust me, you don't want to miss out on any of that. But like I said, it's time for a short break. And when we come back, the grand finals of season 2 of your North American Challenge Finals. Tribe, STMN, do not miss it. We'll be right back.
Snapdragon Pro Series powered by Samsung Galaxy is brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming, Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra, Monster Energy, DHL, and the U.S. Air Force.
it. I'm on the mission, snap any minute, casually winning. Stop tripping on me, stop dissing on me. Yeah, I got a dream, can't take it from me. My fire's burning, now I'm always learning. Tell me where to go, man, I'm on a journey. Yeah, I can't explain it, I get excited. Keep it 300, King Leonidas. Strap in, cause it's gonna be a long ride. Working on me every single day and night. There comes a time when your worlds will collide.
And now it's time to set the table. Introducing the classic, the traditional, dressed in red and black out of Austin, Texas, Tribe Gaming! And the defending champions, all the way from Mexico City, introducing STMN Stamina Esports. Stamina versus Tribe, a tale as old as time. The Snapdragon World Series comes to a close right now. We crown a North American champion. Let's get to it.
The stage is set. We are but moments away from getting into the grand finals. The top two squads are here. STMN fighting their way back through that lower bracket. This is going to be insane.
Yeah, I mean, we couldn't have asked for anything better. Tribe versus STMN in this finals, the El Clasico of NA. But from season one, it's completely flipped. It was Tribe climbing back through that lower bracket and they couldn't pull it off. This time, it's going to be STMN.
And in that parallel, though, it's STMN. Now they're the defending champions, but they still have to fight for their life. Tribe Gaming, though, is sitting nice and pretty. 0 losses in the competition so far. It's a core squad as Livy, Tyrant, Zulon, and Corey at the helm.
Yeah, not only are they going to have to do it once, they're going to have to somehow find a way to do it twice. The Hero's Arc is really going to have to kick off to defend their throne. It's going to be tough.
Definitely so. Talking a little bit more about Tribe, though. Obviously, we have seen them go all the way through the winners bracket in this competition. They've already defeated STMN yesterday in a close affair, 3-2. Double match point. We saw a few mistakes come out of STMN, I will say, and it kind of Tribe, they took advantage of it, and that's what they need to be doing again today if STMN do make those same mistakes. But they're a little bit more polished, they're a little bit more warmed up, and Tribe are kind of just getting their thumbs going today.
Absolutely no room for error for either team here. Tribe Gaming and STMN both playing at the top of their game. Peak performance coming out from both of these teams today.
Yeah, and really interesting stuff to see. Cute Sands is the first one on deck as well. Like we mentioned earlier, 4 insane players on this STMN roster. Bobby, Cute Sands, OG, and Czar. They've done it once. They're going to be looking to try and do it again, but Tribe are so tough. Yesterday, you could see it, right? Every little mistake counts. STMN, of course, one of the most aggressive, one of the most fun teams to watch. Tribe can oftentimes take that approach too, but the dynamic these two teams have, every time it feels like it's such a fun match to watch.
Yeah, and they also seem like polar opposites as well. You know, Tribe play that defensive game. STMN, as you've just said, they play that really, really offensive play style, and I love it. It kind of a battle between these two, just like what we saw with SK Gaming and Reply Totem in Europe in the other region this year. It's the exact same. It's really, really fun to watch that defensive versus offensive, and it always comes out with a really strong battle.
Neither team just gets to play Brawl Stars. They have to play Brawl Stars specifically tailored for the other team. STMN have to find a way to deal with that lockdown control that Tribe Gaming NA has to offer. STMN Esports, on the other side of things, have to find a way to force some of those aggro brawlers that weaken Tribe Gaming so much.
Yeah, I mean, two great rivals have two very similar stat lines, about 10 supers, and maybe we're not giving Tribe enough credit. Maybe they are a little more aggressive than we think, but the KD as well being really similar. Obviously, this went to a 3-2 the other day. It's really anybody's game in my mind.
Well, it is the finals, which of course means, chat, we want to hear from you as well. If you're hanging out in Twitch chat, let us know in that poll down below who you think's going to be taking home the entire competition. If you're hanging out in the audience, you can take your phones out and do the exact same thing as well. Will it be Tribe Gaming, who's had a flawless run here so far, or will it be the defending champs in STMN? Picks and bans are getting ready to go. Trav and ready. Let's do it.
Yeah, we see Bobby's taking his shades off now as well. He's getting serious for the finals. We'll be starting things off in sneaky fields on Brawl Ball. I feel like this kind of favors STMN right out of the blocks. Lou, Ems, and Surge going to be the first bands coming out of STMN today. Tribe, they're going to get rid of that speed, getting rid of the max. They don't want the penny with it either. And the Ems is also going to be banned out.
I like how Stamina have banned out 2 of their power players from the last time we saw them play Brawl Ball on this map. We see them get rid of the Lou and the Ems, both brawlers that they played. And then Surge, one of the other brawlers that they banned out. The first selection of B, definitely a strong one. Now Tribe, they might opt to respond to this in a way such as Squeak, which they are apt to play and can sort of lock down that mid area if you throw that residue out quite quickly. Of course, that means that they will be weak to some of those close range brawlers, which is the exact opposite of what they want to face.
Yeah, we see the B coming in, and obviously kind of with Max banned out, it makes it a little bit less useful, but still it has those uses. You only get that one shot, which on sneaky fields can sometimes hurt you more than it helps you. Spike going to be the return pick coming in from Tribe Gaming. I like it. It's a versatile lane, good against tanks, good against that mid-range, good against the close range as well. And Rosa comes in after that as well, doubling down on this close range.
Making sure that you get some close range brawlers in here because you know exactly what STMN is bringing to the table, and this could also be Tribe Gaming just getting in their heads a little bit and knowing exactly what they wanted to go for. By the expressions on their faces, I couldn't really tell you, but it looks like they might have to find another option. Still plenty of things on the table for them if they decide they want to go for an Ashe or something like that. Primo, also a phenomenal counter for a tank such as this one. They are going to go for the Ashe this time, but they still have one more brawler that they have at their disposal. Usually one of the big things that B counters out is Poco, so I wouldn't completely write it off.
Yeah, I will say, I maybe would have preferred the Primo to the Ashe, to be fair. If Rosa can start getting these supers, cycling them over and over again, it does become a little bit more difficult for the Ashe. It does have that little increase in speed once those rage levels start to get pumped up. But at the end of the day, I think Rosa can do a decent enough job against Ashe. Yes, it's going to be decent either way. It's pretty much a 50-50 matchup in my eyes. Rico going to be the final brawler for STMN. Going to be rounding off quite nicely. Good along those lanes, obviously, as we say, the same as Spike. Good at mid-range, good at that against those tanks, that long-range capability as well. But it's going to suffer quite heavily at this close range if the Rosa manages to sneak through.
Exactly that, and especially if she has that super, she'll be able to tank a lot of the damage that Rico typically has to offer. If on the Spike lane, though, still going to be able to offer quite a bit of resistance. And then lastly, should any other tanky ideas start to come out of Tribe Gaming, a lot of resistance there without a doubt. No wall break either is an important thing to note, so nothing really for B to work alongside here. Definitely a good sign for Rico, too, because he doesn't want those walls really broken open. The Squeak selection from Tribe Gaming, as soon as you see the B, it kind of has Squeak counter written all over it, and it's just a brawler that, as Livy, is very good at playing.
Yeah, I really do like the Squeak. I think it's very, very solid. Residue straight down the mid, down the sides if you want to help one of those teammates as well. Can throw down the Rico side, pretty much force him out of the bush and allow Rosa to go in and get that control. I think that's a really, really smart idea coming out of Tribe Gaming right now. And as you said a little bit earlier in the draft, they're kind of taking STMN's game straight to them with these tanks, which is not something we see Tribe do often.
Well, now we're taking it straight to the battlefield. STMN Esports and Tribe Gaming finally going head-to-head in this best of five already. Big scrap on the right side. Bobby gonna get taken down by Tyrant. Big aggressive plays, too, and Tyrant now could snap up this ball, but he's taking more of a defensive role. He needs to get this super in order to guarantee a goal, and Sands on the left side getting pressured majorly. Getting back down to STMN Esports seriously on the back foot. Here comes the super from Tyrant. Bobby trying to get this ball out of the way, trying to take out some damage, too, and the big slow is enough to send Tyrant back. In fact, send him packing all the way back to the respawn as STMN Esports take him down and now swarm the mid area.
Yeah, Residue throws straight onto Zara and a slow onto Bobby should be enough for Zulan to pick him up, but not quite yet. STMN have flipped the control, got it back in their favor. Great stuff from them, but Sands with a wonderful super coming through, and now Tribe are the ones on the back foot. Tyrant out of his bushes, and Zara trying to find the opening. Can't quite find it just yet, thrown towards the corner, but Bobby's gonna use that chill pill, heal up, and start from square one once more, but Zara finds the opening, the ball's slotted in, and STMN starts strong.
Brilliant team wipe for STMN. Tribe Gaming now got to find a way to strike back, and they do have the tools in the toolkit to do so. Tyrant, especially on the right side, as soon as he gets this super, will be able to push through. Zar certainly finding himself as being the largest disher-outer of this sort of resistance, but Bobby certainly handing out some resistance on the right side with a push through on the right and a good kill for Zar. This could be the goal, as Livy not able to defend, Tyrant not able to get enough DPS out here, and a slick one, a walk in for Bobby, and a game 1 victory.
We can't forget as well, though, we didn't really mention this. It is a best of 5 in these finals now as well. So they've got a bit of a longer road to go. They might have won one, but another 2 are still needed instead of this one being tied up just here. It's great stuff from STMN regardless, though. It started strong for Tribe. Tyrant was playing it so well, and then it kind of seemed like STMN made a bit of an alteration. Zar started pinching more, and they started thriving just that little bit more.
It's not Tribe's comfort zone, and you can certainly tell that's the case because Bobby seems a lot more comfortable on this brawler as he confidently pushes up the right side, already forcing Tribe Gaming out of this mid area. Tyrant now with the unfriendly bushes, though, does not manage to get a takedown. In fact, it's taken down himself, and Sands with a huge beam. It's a team wipe, in fact. STMN Esports with an easy goal and a bank shot, too. This is the grand finals. You can't be doing that.
I mean, that was disgusting. Zulan, he missed the corner pocket as well. Couldn't throw the ball back there to delay that a little bit more. Zar coming through strong off the start, but Tyrant trying to match the same energy. Got his super now as well, healing up from that star power in the bushes. Nice stuff from him, but down come the robotic rats. He's got that rage level up as well. Zulan gets a little bit of a heal off that life plant, but Tyrant coming in strong. Taking down Bobby here, surely. Not going to use that chill pivot, slowed out by Zar. He's got the 3K in hand as well, and Zar pinching in as Livy can't quite get the work done. Zar survives, and STMN remain in the lead.
Catastrophic offense there from Tribe Gaming. They will be able to recoup it if as Livy's able to offer enough slowing, and they do manage to slow down Bobby on the left side. Actually double that as Tyrant pushes in now with the unfriendly bushes and a super to match. Sands tries to get the takedown. He pumps out a whole lot of damage and manages to cycle out the super in turn as well. With the bouncy castle active, he stays alive. Zulan and Tyrant close in for the pinch. Good stuff, but still, it's only a 3v2 and no position to slot this ball in as we dip below 1 minute left on the clock.
Yeah, wonderful control from Tribe here, and it's what they need. Zar's low. The super comes down from Zulan, thrown over the top. It's Livy versus Sands on this right side. Can he get the defense? The bounce castle's there, but the goal is 2. Tribe answer back. 1-1 in the second game of Brawl Ball.
45 seconds left now. STMN Esports, they have a slow. They have the robotic rats from Bobby. Here they come on the right side. Tyrant not going to pop too much to deal with it, and not a whole lot of rage gain by Bobby, but now that he gets that last shot, he's able to back away from Tyrant and deny any more supercharge. Big slow as well from Zar, closing in. Robotic rats now find a new target, but Zulan takes him out in all one fell swoop. Could be a pass up to Bobby as he tries to snap up this ball. Zulan now closing around the right side and denial, but Zar denies his Livy on the left side, and Tribe Gaming holds strong, but with 15 seconds left on the clock and a countdown active, overtime is inbound, and STMN have a rock star positioning.
Yeah, well, Zar's going to get taken down, though, and Sands coming aggressive. Bounce castle pops as well. Super's not going to connect, but he can't find anything from it either as Livy backed up into the goal. Just healing up now as well. We've got that tank versus tank. Both of them have supers, though. Got to be looking for the opportunity to try and score an absolute wonder goal. But STMN, they've got Zar, they've got Sands, they've got these long-range brawlers that are still going to be thriving.
And they got that long-range super pass, too, if they need it. Zar tries to close in this area, but it's more important to win the team fight, too. Zar now taken down. Tyrant has a super. Could be a super pass up to him, but no, he pops it. Tries to take some more damage. Could be a pass. No, taken down. Pass to his Livy, and he slots it in. Good alley-oop to finish things off, and Tribe Gaming take game number 2.
Wonderful play there as well, and as you can see, it was set up as a best of 3, I will say, by the admins, so we'll have to come quickly out of this next one. It will say set win, but it won't be. We will have to reset that lobby and play another one. Little bit of suspense there as well, but a great game from Tribe Gaming there to even things out in this best of 5 finals. They want to take it home, and STMN want to try and get the reset. As Libby now playing the lane, Residue's placed down as well, and Tribe, they've had a good start pretty much every single game they've played, and this is no exception.
Zulan still playing for control around the mid area with the current ball active, trying to get visibility on some of those enemy brawlers. Sands kind of locked in jail on the left side too, especially with the residue down, but it doesn't stop him from ricocheting some of these shots, and Bobby from moving over to the left side to pursue is Livy. He gets taken down, but Bobby falls in turn. Tyrant and Zulan both scrambling to find some lane victories, but Sands shuts him right down. Tribe Gaming have to find a way to push back into mid. Sands and Zar don't seem too apt to play aggro, not without the likes of Bobby on the battlefield as well. And Tribe Gaming actually maintain their position.
Yeah, great stuff, but a wonderful Zar found that shot beautifully. Tyrant coming in with another super as well. Bobby with the chill pulse trying to even things out, but he gets taken down regardless. Tyrant just trying to slot behind this life plant now, getting pinched in as well. Gets the heals off it, but he might fall anyway. Sands trying to find the finishing blow, but can't quite get it just yet. And Tyrant survives on.
Sands still around the left side, trying to be sneaky, trying not to get into too much turmoil, but he's still being offered up a lot of damage. Here it comes, great pinch from Tribe Gaming, and Czar certainly feeling the pain too. Takedown, but not enough positioning for Tribe to get a goal just yet. They gotta somehow retrieve that ball from the back right corner, and it's just not looking possible. Not with STMN Esports being as staggered on the respawns as they are. They might have to bide their time and wait till OT, or wait for STMN Esports to get a bit more comfortable, bring this ball out of the corner, and start going for a goal of their own.
Yeah, but I mean, regardless of the outcome of the last game, I don't know if overtime's still their friend. Tyrant coming in now as well. Got to be close to a super. He wants to make anything happen. He does get it, and he pops it instantly as well. Zulan's got to get the ball, but Bobby doesn't go down. Eslevy's got to find the finishing blow, and Zulan finds it for him. Eslevy gets the ball, and it goes straight in the goal. 35 seconds for an answer back from STMN.
Still time for STMN to respond. Bobby significantly pushing up the right. He has no gadgets, but neither does Tyrant to slow everything down in these pushes. Zard's going to do just that, though, with a slow and a takedown onto Zula on a little one-shot there casually, and Tyrant also on the right side could get pinched. There it is. Beat to the backside and an easy slot in, fired right up to Sands, and a pass in. 15 seconds left with the countdown active, and STMN Esports and Tribe Gaming find themselves tied up with OT soon in the future.
Yeah, well, Super's there for Tyrant as well. Got to back off now, though, as Bobby gets one of his own, but he turns around, finds the trade. Zulan did use his super. Maybe would have been better used in this overtime period. No unbreakable walls on this map either, and Zulan's feeling the heat instantly. Zar gets that first blow, and the second one to follow as well. Picks up his super, and that's going to pack a sting. In comes Bobby as well to get the ball. Zar passing towards that mid-portion of the map. Super comes out from Sands as well, but Tribe, they're locked in spawn. Can Bobby find this opening? He's juking so well, but nobody's got an answer. Two of them fall, and STMN grab the second game of Brawl Ball.
Beautiful execution there from STMN to claim their second game, but that's game number 3. It's a best of 5. We still got more Brawl Stars to be played within this very first set. We're going to be getting that lobby going pretty soon, but it does give a little bit of reprise for both of these teams to consider what went right and what went wrong. We saw Tribe do a whole lot of things right and even push themselves out of their comfort zone, getting some good punches in there with Rosa, getting some good goals lined up, but the ball positioning just did not work to their favor. So many opportunities there were to score, but STMN Esports had managed to corner that ball in the back right. The respawns were staggered. There was simply no access for Triumph.
I mean, there was definitely some opportunities to try and get the ball out of the corner, but it would have cost them their lives and cost them the chance along with it at that. So really difficult stuff for Tribe Gaming here, and STMN just seems to be controlling the game. They know, even though they lost that second game in overtime, as you can see in that replay right there, they have the better comp. You see the beat, you see the Rico, they've got those more impactful shots. Tribe Gaming found a few openings, but just not enough to be able to take this one just yet.
STMN Esports looked so clean in here, but so did Tribe. This was a final killing blow from Sands, though. I mean, we talk about walking in a straight line. I think we saw him move at least 2 times, strafing back and forth with that super in hand, and it really did clean things up in the goal. Forget anything I said about Rico. He is pulling off a great performance.
Yeah, and look at that performance counter as well. Only the best for the players. Snapdragon performance meter 118 FPS on these devices, running the absolute best Brawl Stars can be played on. So lovely, lovely stuff from Snapdragon as well. As we say, we'll just be restarting this lobby, getting the draft done one more time, and getting this last game in, I should say. It is a best of 5, so the players still have a long way to go. Tribe need 2 in a row to be able to take this set, but STMN now only need 1.
Long way to go and a short time to get there as the pace continues to pick up for both of these teams. It just gets tighter and tighter and tighter as we're nearing that next game of Brawl Ball. All these teams also, once again, getting ready to move in. Some of the comp decisions as well. We see a lot of good control offered by a brawler like Squeak, even against a brawler like Rico too. Sands as Livy both going at that matchup, making sure that they have that control, but a lot of the early punches coming in from both Bobby and Tyrant on that lane. I want to once again touch on just how unexpected that is for Tribe to be going for such an aggressive brawler like Rosa, especially on this map, and Tyrant also playing that. Usually we'd see a sort of Zulon picking up that role.
Yeah, and I mean, it's interesting as it is for that reason, but also it's kind of, I'm really, really enjoying it. Try bringing STMN's game to them is really something special, and it's giving us some wonderful, aggressive Brawl Stars to be able to commentate over and for you guys to watch. So thrilling, thrilling stuff so far. A little bit of a skin swap in the mid there by Zara as well, but Bobby starting things off strong with a couple of connecting shots on Tyrant on the right.
Bobby on the right side now, contested by Tyrant once again. trying to push forward, but getting backed up. Zulon also doubling up on the lane, forcing that first gadget out of Bobby, and an early super down. Zar falls as a result. Could be a pass up to Tyrant. Robotic Rats going down. Bobby, Sands both stay alive, and they both deny entry to that point, but the curveball managed to claim the life of Sands. Still no entry. Bobby standing firm, standing guard, has that level 2 rage active. Tyrant going to be able to tank all this damage, though, and move right in. It's an early goal, just 34 seconds in, and already Tribe Gaming put one up on the scoreboard.
I mean, that's the start that Tribe needed. It's the start that they wanted. Tyrant going aggressive, gets the super and takes down Zar straight away. This might be the second game for Tribe right now. Sam's going to miss that super as well. Bobby can't dodge these curveballs. Tyrant's going aggressive, but the chill pill keeps Bobby alive and pushes Tribe back along with it.
The momentum killer as Team and Esports are getting locked into their own spawn, especially by Zulon, who's able to continuously pop off these stick-around supers. Still, though, is Livy's able to do just the same. It's just a catch that he has to use a green button to do so, and he's already used 2 within this game. A little slow in action on a Sands. They will be trapped on the left side, even though he pops a bouncy castle, tries to stay alive. It's simply not enough. Tyrant, though, does fall in some of the mayhem, and Zar and Bobby will find an opportunity to push in, but it's not going to be easy. Bobby has to use that speed gear to get right on past that super from Spike, and Zar now looks to defend this area and make sure that they keep it from Tribe.
Yeah, and for once, ST-Men have to actually bring this ball out their corner because they're not the ones in control this time. They're 1-0 down thanks to that early goal from Tribe. Super coming from Sands once more. He cycles it and gets it off once more against Livy, and it's going to clip Tyrant at the back as well. Opening for Bobby and an opening for STMN. They're going to score the goal and 1 game away from the first set.
40 seconds remain. Both teams have a real horse in this race. They're both looking quite good here, but it's going to come down to who gets that first kill to determine where the momentum goes as we enter the last pitch. Now just 30 seconds left. Sands armed with yet another super, and we know just what he's capable of doing with those, but he's got to find the perfect opportunity, and Zar gets tanked up by his Livy. It is 2v3. Tyrant now pushing in on the right side. Sands tries to offer some resistance, but it's simply not enough. All of those piercing right through Tyrant, and another game up on the scoreboard for Tribe Gaming as we enter double set point.
Yeah, I mean, this is really, really exciting stuff as well. The amount of games we get to see throughout this between these 2 titans of the region, how close it is and how exciting it's proving to be. Tribe Gaming bring it back 2-2 now as well. Early life plant from Zulan to tank a couple of these shots from Zar. It's not really going to expend too much of his ammo thanks to that only 1 ammo slot anyway. Tyrant's going to aggressive and surely find Bobby here, but the chill pill's going to be there along the way. But the super from Tyrant as well, and he finds the first pickup. It's Livy over the left doing some damage as well, but the bouncy castle keeps Sands in it.
Lightning offense from Tribe Gaming completely shut down by Sands and Zar playing the control game. Bobby now on the right side looks to pick up the pace of things. Has to take on Rosa. There it is. Easy peasy. And he breezes on up to that right side. Super in hand, but he's biding his time. No, unfortunate waste of the super. That was not intended, and he's going to pay the price, maybe in form of his life. Here comes Tyrant. Pops that super. Zar tries to slow him down. Zulon could fall soon after. There he is, the pinch. And yet another shot in from STMN.
What seemed to be a wonderful start from Tribe has crumbled so quickly. STMN come out with the first goal, and now it's Tribe who need the answer. Tyrant getting hit early on as well. Doesn't have the range to contest Bobby in this position. Super comes out from Zulan and another one from Sands as well. Not getting the value he had out of the previous ones, but Bobby pinch around the back as Livy's got to be going down here surely. And Bobby's still continuing his tear up top. Zar finds that, and they're continuing this break.
Bobby has 1 gadget left, but he's not going to be able to make use of it now, but this is exactly where STMN want them. Tyrant, the only one defending. Sands, Zar both start to close things in. Sands in a very aggressive position, maybe apt to receive a pass, but there's just no one to give it to him. Still, though, they're buying some time for Bobby to move back up here. Tyrant on very low health, no chance of healing up at all, but they do get the takedown on Zar. This is a good omen for Tribe Gaming. Bobby could start to sweep through these guys. Tyrant's he's forced to use that last bit of unfriendly bushes. Even pops a super, but it's short-lived. Zulon, no, not going to get beamed across the map by Sands, and now Tribe Gaming start to move into the mid area once again, trying to reclaim control, and they don't have much time.
I mean, Sands is on a tear, still not gone down, eventually going to fall now as well, but take a lot of Tyrant's HP with him, as he's got the super as well, needs to try and use it, not going to connect onto Bobby, and no slows along with it either. Residue pops, and it's going to make the connection. That's going to be a big slow, shutting off this right-hand side, but Bobby can't move anywhere. No chill pills in hand. Tribe need a goal, and they need it now, but with 2 of them falling, it's just Tyrant, and he can't find an opening. STMN, 20 seconds on the clock, ball in their possession, and the game should be as well.
Sands and Zar are the real MVPs of this control game, and Tribe Gaming are scrambling for any kind of offense, but they're just getting shut down. Every single bit of that aggression as Livy, though, dodges out a lot of the shots. Zar trying to defend him. He has no visibility on him, but the ball was simply too far out of reach. No shot of Tribe Gaming making it all the way there, and STM Esports takes set number 1.
Wonderful stuff from STMN there, and don't forget, it's still a very, very long road to win this game. Never mind the next one that they've got to do as well with this bracket reset that's forced out of them by Tribe. Wonderful stuff so far from STMN, but let's not take Tribe off the table at the moment. They still managed to get 2 out of the 5 games there, and STMN only just snagged it with the fifth and final, I should say. We saw some great stuff, and maybe it's time for Tribe to stick to what they know.
Look, all kinds of considerations here. Tribe forced to play out of their comfort zone, and we know as STMN Esports, they got that secret weapon. They have Sans on their team. So a whole lot of advantages here, map-wise, mode-wise for STMN Esports, and Tribe Gaming still managed to pull off a really good show. That said, it's only one set, plenty more modes along the way, and STMN Esports gonna have a tough time keeping up the pace, but Tribe Gaming, the exact same across the way.
Yeah, it might be a bit of a tough time to keep up the pace, but they're going to have to do it anyway. It looks like we've got Sans actually sticking in for the second set, considering that first one went so well. And look at that. Audience prediction, 50-50, dead in the middle between STMN and Tribe Gaming. It's not every day you see that.
Yeah, I don't even think I've ever seen 50-50 before. It's just about never this close. But when things start to ramp up, this kind of competition, this kind of fire behind the eyes of each and every one of these competitors, it is exactly the case. Tribe Gaming and STMN are in such a close match, but after set number 1, STMN, they do have that slight lead. 1 set under their belts, and we still did play it all the way to completion. 7 games played.
Yeah, I mean, it might be a slight lead in this one, but overall, I think looking at the bigger Tribe Gaming, they're the ones in control with the extra game in hand. Crystal Arcade on Gem Grab is going to be the next map and mode up. Should be having those bans coming in shortly, but I mean, this is a map that's going to be control, and we know who is the Gem Grab controllers. STMN Esports, they're the best in the business, best in the world at that.
Well, I almost want to say, though, knowing that this map is control, it's time for either of these teams to flip it on its head and do something unexpected. Surprise the competition here, and no one's better at that than STMN, but Tribe, they surprised us in set number 1, and they still did pretty well with it. Nothing too shocking from their side, though, in terms of bans, and picks may surprise us. That's where I'm really putting all of my points. STMN, though, nothing super unexpected either. Crow, just a good all-around brawler. The Surge ban may be a little unexpected, actually, because usually he doesn't find a ton of value unless there's a tank on the field, and that's not something that Tribe usually plays.
Yeah, I mean, Janet's just so versatile, that's the thing. Always pretty much has an answer to everything. Whether that be the drop the base, the long range, the short range burst damage, the piercing that can come along with it as well. It really is solid against a lot of those things. I will say, with Penny out of the mix, the drop the base becomes maybe that little bit more useful as well. No splash going to be coming through that either. But with Surge out the way, it definitely seems that STMN are leaning towards this tankier kind of route, especially the same with the Crow as well, where the slowing is going to be coming down onto them. But Tribe, maybe they're the ones who are going to go with these tanks. I mean, why not if STMN aren't going to take one first and Surge is out of the way?
I mean, I might be able to list a few reasons why not. I mean, STMN, they have 2 picks left that they could use to counter this out. If they decide to break open some of the walls, that is absolutely possible. But you can tell Tribe thought ahead of this. They wanted to pick something like this headed into this set. Already getting rid of the Colonel Refs, just one of the best ways to get rid of some of those walls. However, I gotta note, B is still on the field, still on the table as a selection. Tribe Gaming could opt to go for something like that themselves, and if they don't, they know that STMN have that in their back pocket. Love the M selection from Tribe Gaming, actually. She has a lot of struggles if there's wall break on the battlefield, so that might be something STMN are looking at, but once she's in position on this field, you can pretty much never force her out of position unless you have something that outranges her.
I will say as well, with Ruffs off the table by Tribe Gaming, it kind of eliminates that main wall break that comes in on this map. Play that down one of the lanes, you're going to have wall break pretty much all day long, and especially against tanks on top of that as well. M's going to be the obviously second pick. Spike, the return pick from STMN, though. I like that. As I said in the first, bit of that mid-range control, can deal with short range, can deal with long range with that curveball if it comes in, but if not, the Fertilizer can be more than capable of dealing with that Ashe anyway.
It can be very oppressive to deal with no matter which brawler you're on. As a tank, you're going to get hit for a lot of damage and slowed down with the super. And if you're not, then yeah, you still got to dodge out some of those curveball shots, and it can be so difficult to do so. Here's a Stu selection from Stamina, and I love this. Not only are you able to effectively keep out of range of Ems and sort of play at the exact same range as her, but you're also able to stay out of range of Ashe consistently, shoot that shot and then dash away. Do that on repeat, and it's an easy lane victory, but you still gotta have high visibility on those brawlers.
I mean, I've got to ask you, is Janet through the mid something we see every day in North America? Because elsewhere in any other region, I haven't really seen it. But is there really another answer? I mean, Stu, yes, you can play it through that mid, but I also still feel like it's definitely a bit of a weakling.
it's not a really strong brawler as a mid, but still you're able to fly away with some of those gems. So it might not be the worst brawler to have some of your gems on. Has that escape plan. Bo is a selection from Tribe Gaming. I like this one. Once again, just a good all-around brawler. You're able to break open some walls that you don't like. You're able to mess with the team comms, pollute them with positioning of mines and such. And you're also just able to pump out quite a bit of damage, get that super fired up nice and easy with the use of the super totem.
Yeah, I mean, my main question coming into this one is Stu going to be the mid? Is Janet going to be the mid? Or are we going to see Spike returning as a mid like the last one? You know, we saw it being played through that mid in Sneak Fields, mainly to tank those B shots, so I imagine it'll definitely be played down lane, especially against the Ashe on this one. But between that Stu and Janet, I'm not sure who's going to be making that appearance. It looks like Bobby's heading towards that mid, and I'm just not sure how confident I feel about it.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll be proven right or wrong in just a moment here. Already dropped the base down, but it's taken out super easily. Sands with the takedown on the left side, falls shortly thereafter, and Zar swiftly wins that lane on the right side. Spike is just so good against pretty much all brawlers, but versus Ashe especially so. Tribe Gaming, though, still have 2 gems on their side. Going to be exceeded just a little bit by Bobby. Sands gliding nice and easy on the left side, too, and manages to make it away with his life, but only barely so. Some close matchups, but STM and Esports now have the positioning. They are poised and ready for success. With as Livy forced out of this left side and the walls all broken up, it's gonna be tough.
Yeah, I'm just not sure what matchup really beats this Stu over here. As Livy's going to force out a super and try hide behind this wall, but there's still a mine there. If Sands can get close, break that wall, it's pretty much going to be impossible for Tribe to win that lane. Zulan being pinched in here as well. Tyrant's falling quite low. Zar's going to pick up the right-hand side, clean that up quickly. A totem has to tank for Tyrant, but it's not enough. Bobby's got the gems, he's got the flight out, and he doesn't even need it.
He's untouchable at this rate. Just 15 seconds left for Tribe Gaming to make a big move, and they still got to go through Sands and Zar to get there. Easy gliding for Sands as he dashes around. 5 seconds remain, but it's still a team wipe. Some pins up in the air, and an easy win's coming the way of STM and Esports as Stu just wiped the floor with these guys in the last game.
I mean, that was incredible by Stu, I will say. Just constant pressure, and the same with Zar as well over the right-hand side on that spike. Ashe didn't get a look in, and I mean, yes, it's all down to that first matchup, especially on the right. We kind of expect the Stu to be winning the left against that M's 99% of the time. But if Ashe can get a quick break, a quick few shots against the spike, double tap him, then he's in a good spot.
Just not a whole lot that they can do versus this wall break. Sands still trying to take on his Livy on the right side. As soon as he gets that first super, it's going to be bad business. And you can tell as Livy really did come for the fight, trying to make sure that Sands does not get in these bushes. Already 1-2 acid sprays popped, but it's simply not enough. Already those walls are down, and Sands remains alive as Livy all the way backed up on the right side. And Zulan pretty much out of luck on the left too. He's outranged, he's outgunned, facing into the counter. Brawler, it's just not a good situation and not a good outlook for Tribe Gaming.
Yeah, I mean, complaining about this Janet through mid, I think, was the least of our worries. Tribe Gaming, they're getting absolutely dominated on the lanes. It's not even that mid that matters. They could have played anything down this mid and still been victorious at this point. Zulan making his first sign of life, though, and there he does pick up the left-hand side. Gem going to be left so he can continue and maintain this aggression. Mine's on the floor. Sam's going to dash through them, but he doesn't have a super for the second. Walks through it anyway, but 9 gems are there, and there's controllers as well now.
Very bold play for Bobby. Luckily, he did make it away. Sands, just easy stuff. Once again, pop the breakthrough. Bobby is going to get stunned, though. It's not a death sentence, though, as Zulan's not able to close in range. Bobby still has a super at his disposal. 5 seconds left. No positioning for Tribe Gaming to close things out here. They got to figure out some kind of way to deal with Sands, because it does not look like they came equipped for a Stu today.
I mean, it doesn't seem like they came equipped for anything at this point. It really is disappointing. After that close-net first match that we saw, the first Brawl Ball set was really strong. 2-2, and we only see them take the set on the 5th and final game. In this one, it's all STMN, and there's no answers whatsoever back to any of these compositions that STMN are running.
One word, outer dafted. That's really what STM Esports have at their side now. And they plan to utilize it to get yet another win here. Already wall break, but Zulan's the one awaiting. Sands on the other side. He manages to come out on top and pump some damage on Bobby, but still, Bobby comes out on top. STM Esports have a 2v2, soon to be a 3v3 with Sands approaching the right lane, now looking to break open yet more walls. And Tyrant tries to help him out, already sort of forced to retreat over to the right side too. Looking for that 4th gem, already acid spray 2 from his Livy. Sands dodging out a lot of this damage, but he's out of a super. Is gonna have to work fairly hard to get it back.
Yeah, difficult stuff. Better start for Tribe, but now it's all kind of crumbling down. Eslivy's low as well. Bobby finds a couple of connecting blows, but not the finishing one. Zulan's trying to juke his way up this left-hand side, and with Curveball, it's increasingly difficult. Drop the base going to be popped to stop any of those heals coming in. Obviously, he's still got a chill pill, but even with that, it's difficult. Sun's going to start his aggress, and he does take down Tyrant. Zulan's there to try and stop him on his retreat, but with this super, he can't get in the line of sight with him. That's another 9 gems in the hands of STMN, and Eslivy's the only one who can make an answer.
One more for Sands. He's going to risk it. He's going to go for it. Closing in range of Tyrant and farming up those supers left, right, and center. Countdown active. And as Livy tries to circle around enemy ramparts, Bobby now forced in the back left corner. Zard trying to close in, get these easy 2 taps, but it's a countdown reset. And Sands and Zar are now the ones in possession of these gems. Sands still playing very, very aggressive and taking a whole lot of hits along the way. Luckily, he does make it away with his life. Only 210 health to his name. Tyrant still alive. Won't be able to close in range. In fact, no one from Tribe Gaming will. It's a 3-0 sweep from STMN Esports to close out set 2.
How confident can a man be? Sands just knew he was getting out of that position, or he just didn't care if he lost it because of how confident they were coming into the next ones. And STMN, they're looking on top of the world at the moment. Just one more set needed for this bracket reset to be a thing, and then they have to do it all over again to be able to take the crown off Tribe Gaming.
And well, you were talking in the backstage, and you said he's just good at running in a straight line, but I saw him doing a lot more than that. Zigzagging left, right, center, all over the place, just gliding on folks. Here he is once again with a kill on a Tyrant to get that very first countdown, but we already know it wasn't all smooth sailing. We did see a few mistakes here and there from STMN Esports, but they're really just getting such the dip here that you can't even really blame them. STMN Esports are on fire, ice in their veins, fire in their fingers and thumbs, and what a performance in the first 2 sets.
I would like to reiterate that it wasn't me who said that he was going to walk in a straight line. It was his own teammate OG who said that. So I don't want to be taking any of the fire for this. Don't bring this on me. 40 gems picked up for STMN though, and 5 dropped. How confident they were on those gems is just unparalleled by anything Tribe can bring to the table. 15 picked up and 14 dropped. Not even half the damage that STMN were able to bring to the table.
It's a draft, man. That is really what it is at the end of the day. The stew is just diff, and there was almost nothing that Ash could do on absolutely any lane. His best bet was to face versus face versus Spike. Try and dodge out some of those shots. Try and play peekaboo around some of the obstacles too. But Stu, Sands on that Stu, might I add, was so apt to break open those walls repeatedly. And Tribe thought that they covered a lot of the major bases by getting rid of roughs and the like. No, it simply was not enough to shut things down. Now we head into Canal Grande, and Tribe Gaming, this is their last stand.
Canal Grande. I'll have you know, actually. Yeah, we're just going to get that one in there. The right pronunciation for you guys. Don't be pronouncing it badly at home. STMN, though, starting off with some bands of Eve, Tick, and Penny going to be up there as well. Tribe Gaming going to bring in the Carl, the Surge, and the Ash bands. I like it. They've tried their hand at tanks, and maybe it's time to let them go.
Yeah, certainly so, but here comes a first pick of Barley from Tribe Gaming. I like this pick as a first pick. It does have me scratching my head just a little bit, but we've seen just how well it can operate and just how much of a counter pick it can be. Really one of the main things to deal with this though is going to be any form of wall break. Really just one wall breaker from STMN could shut this down entirely, but it could be exactly what Tribe Gaming want. STMN would only get 1 pick after picking a wall breaker as their second or their third pick in this draft. And Tribe Gaming have, well, 2 options at their disposal to pick brawlers that are good in the absence of walls.
Yeah, we're going to see the answer to the throw-up with another throw-up. Grom going to be coming in as well, and clearly Tribe just so confident in the Barley, and honestly, it has been making its mark recently, especially on Canal Grande, as the main thrower. You know, we see Take Ban now, obviously, that's out the way, but he's picked Barley over the Sprout, the Grom, which is really odd back in the day, but I feel nowadays it has kind of proved itself. We've seen a lot of good things from Barley. Grom, on the other hand, we know it brings some good gameplay. We know it's going to be incredible. We know the split shot and the large damage that it packs is going to be very, very good. Janet, yet again, didn't doubt the Janet pick. I doubted the Janet placement in the last one. This one, I kind of like it a little bit more.
If Barley can completely shut down a lane, then Grom can do that ×2. He's just that good. He's first pick worthy in a lot of departments, and I wouldn't really say the same for Barley, at least not confidently. Here comes the Janet selection, though, and I do like this from STMN. They have that drop the base at their disposal. They can suss out some of these bushes, detect enemies, and also get that damage over time to anyone that stands within this, honestly, very, very large, almost excessive radius for this brawler. It's frustrating to deal with, and I love this from Tribe already. The Daryl now crashing in, and you're able to roll along a lot of that water. Of course, it's Canal Grande because there's water in the middle, and you're able to roll down and get a bit of extra distance on that roll.
Well, it's just not factually true. But at the end of the day, I don't mind the Daryl. You know, I said maybe it's time for them to let go of the tanks, let STMN play the hand in it, but they've gone with it again. And I don't hate the pick. I just don't know if it's a Tribe Gaming pick at heart. I think it's got some legs in a map like this, but at the end of the day, STMN, they have this last pick. You know, they're going to have the opportunity of picking something that's going to counter the tank really well. Going to go with the Gene along with it as well. Pull into the Daryl can be a great combination. The amount of damage that that's going to be able to put out is really unparalleled. But STMN with this last pick, they've got to bring an answer to Daryl.
And maybe even to Gene, because they already have 1-2 brawlers that can spawn a totem. You have Watchtower with Grom, you have the drop the base with Janet. They can simply go for yet another brawler that has a spawnable, but it's precisely what you're saying. You got to find a way to deal with the Daryl. They already have a method of getting rid of Barley. They have a thrower of their own. Lou is their choice. He's not the greatest at finishing off kills, but he can get good area control. And area is... land is short in supply on Canal Grand. You really only have 2 lanes that you can push down. So if you have a single super on either one of them, you're basically locked down into one of your lanes.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, I was speaking to OG backstage in the previous game, and he asked me who I thought I'd combo. I was like, when it comes to Lou, I just genuinely don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. And yes, I feel like it does bring some great pressure, great control. But overall, I feel like there's maybe a few better picks overall in the Brawler pool, but we'll see how this one plays out. I do really like it on Canal Grande. If it's going to come out anywhere, I think this is the place to do it.
Well, let's see if they're able to execute. Of course, we have learned that that is one of the most important things today. It's not just the draft. And that blue star is sitting nice and pretty at mid. Zulon's going to make a beeline for it, but he doesn't want to be too hasty. Could get interrupted by Bobby, as Livy's going to be the one to finish the job, but Tyrant's nice and trapped on the right side. Sands gets closed in. Damage over time from the Barley bottles is enough to take him down. Zulon also finding himself going down in the aftermath of that drop the base, but Tribe Gaming still are in the lead by just 1 star, and they possess the blue star on his Livy.
Well, Daryl Roll's still there, and it's available, but Zar's aggressing him quite nicely. Got the flight away, obviously, as well. Drop the base to be able to tank some stuff if that is needed. But Zulan with this pull, Sans has got to be cautious. He's very, very low. Can't find the killing blow from Zulan, but pulls there, and he hits it. He's got the drop the base, and he's got the flight, and he makes it out. Daryl does the damage, Gene does the damage, and he still finds an answer.
As Livy now with the killing blow, Zar landing right inside of that bottle's range, and Tyrant on the right side, not going to get frozen up, no, just the shot to the back, and a final kill from him as Livy, though still just barely remains alive with 30 health. Zulon on the right, getting majorly pressured and left all the way overextended, but Tribe Gaming still ahead by 4 stars. Bit of covering tracks as well from his Livy, firing away from the left side, trying to cover the right to enable a push in from Daryl. As soon as someone looks right for the picking, Bobby and Zar both look fairly weak as Zar has no gadgets left, and Bobby is not that strong in close range. Sands also getting closed in, and this guy's effectively locked in jail. We see the full force of the Barley pick, but on the right, here comes Tyrant rolling in, trying to roll out, but Zar flies away, takes to the skies, and remains safe and sound.
Yeah, forces him out of the way, and Zulan now gonna have to put the Vengeful Spirit. Sans is very, very low, but they need to find some stars. Still 4 needed. 2 of them need to go down, no matter who it is. I believe maybe actually as Livy's got 4 in the blue up top, but Zar finds his flight. Tyrant's gonna have to try and roll away, but doesn't get very far. 7 to 8 now, and it's only 1 in it. Zar's very low. Sans has to tank, but now he's fallen low. Soup comes down the right-hand side, blocking pretty much all of that avenue off. Bobby's too low, but a Tyrant needs to stay up as well. 13 to 7, and Tribe take it.
Brilliant Barley gameplay from Tribe Gaming. Really went to show just how strong that brawler can be, and it did not look like the Lou was really able to offer what STMN thought, or at least hoped that it would be able to do. Unfortunate circumstance for them, but once again, it's all down to execution. They can make this happen in the next game. A big proponent of that is simply that first game interaction, getting that blue star, where we saw it go to Tribe Gaming, and STMN Esports forced to play aggro into Tribe Gaming's notorious defense.
I mean, a reverse sweep at this stage would be devastating for STMN. On the brink of managing to bracket reset to then losing it out. This could be the start for Tribe Gaming that they need. As Livy's going to throw out some balls down the right-hand side. Pretty much all control, but Bobby coming to try and find an answer. Daryl Roll already available as well. Needs to try and go aggressive on this, but in comes that Vengeful Spirit. It's tanked out by the drop the base of Zar. And now they're trying to find some ground, and ground they're finding.
Fighting real hard on the left side, drop the base, putting in work overtime. Zulon also goes down. Blue Star changes hands. Now over to STMN. Big roll in from Tyrant. What is he thinking though? Right into the hands of Zar and Sands as he's frozen up and stunned. As Livy also left deep in enemy territory, taken down as a result. And now this is cascading in favor of STMN. 1 super, 2 supers for Sands, and another pool of ice surely awaits them in the near future.
I mean, it's all Zar. Look at the stars over his head. He's got pretty much every single kill on the map so far. Tribe trying to make a move over to the right-hand side, but Grom Bomb comes down. No connections found from that. But a bit of control and a little bit of wall break came along with it. Sands trying to find some stuns and gets one on Zulan, gets the finish as well, and a super comes along with it. Tyrant rolls to the left, finds the slow on Bobby with the tar barrel. Nice one from him, but now he needs to retreat, and that's another 3 gems in the hands of 3 stars in the hands of Zar.
First blood for Tribe Gaming was quickly shut down, and Zar's got 7 over his head, plus the blue star. He's still playing quite aggressive, though, now retreating to the back lines, not taking too much damage along the way. Zulon really looking for that kill. Here comes a roll in from Tyrant. This time it's good. 15 stars in hand for STMN, but 13 on the side of Tribe. Tyrant's got to do whatever he can, though. Bit of a mismove there. Unfortunate. The misplay is going to cost him the game, it looks like. 10 seconds left, and STMN Esports remains safe and sound. 5 seconds counting down, and just no moves left for Tribe Gaming.
I mean, this map, it's just all a battle for the early game. That's what it is. Get the control and get the stars along with it. STMN played that one a lot better, and Zar was a big, big factor in that. Had 7 stars over his head at one point, and that, it almost helped Tribe Gaming towards the end there, where they started to bring it back. But as you say, a little bit of a missed roll from Tyrant. Did cost them a little bit there. Need to make some reparations and come back stronger here.
Well, comeback incoming potentially. STMN Esports really fired back there, not even dropping a single kill until fairly late in the game. And even when they did drop one early, they quickly followed up. They are covering every single base here, and it looks like now they're equipped to deal with as Livy. Zar could drop the base here, though, does get a takedown as a result. Now, as Livy follows up on that, and Tribe Gaming remain in the lead. 2 stars now doubling to 4 on STMN Esports' side. Looking good as Sands tries to stay at range, working on getting that next super round.
Well, no rush just yet. Still 1 star in the lead for STMN. Tribe needs to try and make a move, though. 1:25 on the clock. Still a lot of time to make some plays. But Gene Pull might be the way to do it. Starting to connect some shots here nicely as well. Super comes in from Sands to block off that portion of the map. No entry through the mid at this point, or they're pretty much going to be stunned out. Eslivy found in a tough spot, but Sands can't find the kill. Great survival there, should I say, from Eslivy, and Tribe start from square one once more.
Zulon now taken down. STMN Esports extend their lead. Sands now with yet another super down. Bobby could get taken down in close range. Clutch freeze, and he takes a whole lot of damage with that watchtower too. Another takedown, and it's just crumbling for Tribe Gaming. STMN Esports could be here with a match point incoming, and they continue to double the lead. Blocking off that late. Big pull, and Sands goes down, even trying to throw down the emergency super, but it's simply not enough. The lead narrows just to 4 stars. STMN Esports still looking to be in a good position, but it could start to spiral out of control.
Yeah, I mean, now the values over the heads just aren't as hefty, and STMN can maybe start to aggress with a couple of their members as long as just a couple more of them survive. But Tyrant looking like he might be stunned out sometime soon. A good clip coming in from Sands, super available as well. Throws that through the mid, and he can just play left to right now. Zulan's low, but in comes the roll from Tyrant. No gadgets left, but he finds the stun. A little bit of heal in there as well. Super drop once more. They find the kills, they find the stars, and it's going to be match point to STMN.
Scratch what I said earlier, Tribe Gaming just simply are not able to deal with the Lou at this point. It is so oppressive. 1 super after the next, and a lot of that comes down to the early game interaction. We see Tribe Gaming, they're able to get that blue star in this last game, but they lost it so quickly. Forced to play aggressive into that Lou, and simply not able to keep up with the constant flurry of, well, little snow flurries coming down on their side.
Yeah, you got to be a little bit more cautious off the start. Yes, you need the blue, but you don't want to take another couple of stars away from it. Tyrant looking for it now, and drop the base, obviously revealing his position as well, so he's not flying under the radar thanks to that grass. Gonna go for the pick up now, and Eslivy's the one who grabs it. Feels like he's the safest member to kind of control it and hold on to it. Maybe not as many deaths from him as the aggressive member of Tyrant. Zulan just get the takedown on that. Drop the base, but Zar still pushing up the side. Grom can't find any connections on Eslivy. Pulls there, and it might be worth using it, but the drop the base is placed and tanking it out. Sun's gonna get some damage on Tyrant, find the stun, but it's just not enough. Pulls there as well, and Tribe answering back.
Phenomenal call there for Zulon as well, because he waited for that drop the base to be placed down, and Zar had it on cooldown. He was not able to use that to block out the pull. Use it in close range was a recipe for success for Zulon, but a huge aggressive play. 1 kill, 2 kill for Zar, and a blue one too as he moves back. Zar still on a tear. Now to the back lines on the right side, safe and sound. 6 stars on their side too, just 1 star in the lead.
Ron Bomb comes down, it's gonna hit Zulan, but no one else could have helped to find the connection onto either Tyrant or Eslivy on top of that as well. But 1 star is the decisive thing. It is a blue one as well, so big stuff from Zar to make that huge play that he did just before. Zulan's still got this pull though, needs to be a little bit cautious about it. Tyrant's got the roll, and they need to make this cohesive play to bring it back.
Tyrant now approaches with Nasty intentions on the left side, has that super in hand, trying to roll in on someone, but Sands always pretty magnetized to this lane. Tyrant tries to rotate up. Sands none the wiser, not moving too close, but STMN Esports start to hunker down. 20 seconds remain. Zulon goes for the hero pull. Not going to come true. Here comes the big super in from Tyrant, but he's dodged out by Zar. Now moving to the opposing side. Tyrant tries to double back, but he's frozen up. Zulon now trying to keep people low. Bobby Sands still alive. A 10-star scoreline for STMN Esports. Just a bit more time, but they're all out of reach. STMN Esports take the win, and they reset the bracket.
Incredible stuff, but risky stuff from Zar there at the end. He had 6 stars over his head, and if he went down, he would have tossed the game. STMN Esports come out on top of this one, and they are going to be resetting the bracket, starting from 0-0 once more. One more best of 5 stands between both Tribe and STMN now to be able to be crowned the Season 2 champions.
Amazing performance from STMN, and I'm starting to get flashbacks from Season 1 because this is precisely what we saw in that matchup, but this time STMN Esports are fighting their way up from that lower bracket. Now we ended just the same place we were, with this heading on to the Grand Finals Part 2.
I mean, it really was incredible performance from STMN. We saw small portions of fight back from Tribe, but nowhere near what we saw yesterday. They came out swinging yesterday. They took it to double match point, and they looked good, but we're just not seeing the same from them today. Maybe with this little bit of a warm-up, they've had a little bit of a wake-up call and being swept once again by STMN Esports, I will say, and they need to come back stronger to be able to have any chance whatsoever now.
I'd say my top-down analysis is really that Tribe Gaming are trying to play STMN's game here, and STMN are just really doing what they're good at. They're playing in their comfort zone, and it absolutely shows, especially in a mode like Bounty, where STMN Esports really does run this show 54-43 on the star score. Well, that is pretty close. Close just is not good enough. You gotta be coming out on top to grab a win.
Yeah, you really do. And I mean, Star-Wise obviously is going to back it up. The damage really is on STMN's side in this one. Really nice stuff from STMN to be able to bring this one back. And it really was some great stuff from them to be able to close it out.
I mean, you guys had talked about it when we were in the back before any of this even started today. I think everybody wanted a little extra brawl, and that's exactly what we're getting now.
Can't complain, really. Definitely can't complain about the extra brawl we're getting. And I mean, even if it is yet another sweep, I don't mind which way it goes. But honestly, I came in today thinking Tribe might be able to take it. But now, my opinion's kind of swayed.
I mean, when we talk El Clasico, you simply cannot get enough of these two teams going at it.
Okay, well, Kenny, we watched the whole thing in the back. I was watching you take tons of notes. Let's talk about what we just watched go down.
Yeah, I mean, what an insane turnaround, right? STMN, day number 1, they drag it down to the wire. 5 sets. This looks like an entirely different Tribe roster. Not only did STMN win 3-0, they did so in a best of 5, a very untraditional thing that we see in Brawl Stars. Of course, all of that starting in Brawl Ball. Nasty goal right there to end off that game. And STMN just came out swinging sneaky fields. We saw them play it a little bit earlier today. The Ash pick, it still works. Sands clearly very valuable in Brawl Ball in general. That's 2 sets for him that he's absolutely popped off as well. I mean, it just felt like the whole way through, Stamina were in control, at least from being behind the scenes. It never really felt like Tribe did something to make me believe in them again in this set.
Yeah, and I will say, looking at the replays now, I'm kind of connecting the dots, and it was Sands all the way through, more than just in that first set. The Rico in the first was incredible, along with Bobby's Ash. In this one, it really was all his stew, and then it seemed like his Lou was just the thing to top it off.
Pretty much, and at first, Tribe Gaming did a fairly good job of denying it, but then they learned that they really do have to play into it. STMN Esports, they formed as a roster to make Sands the centerpiece of a lot of these interactions where Daryl's forced to roll in, and this is Tribe Gaming playing out of their comfort zone, having to make these decisions that they're not so sure about. It absolutely shows in the stats. A lot more supers popped off by STMN Esports, but not as many deaths either. Always a good show.
Yeah, it really is, and I mean, at the end of the day, it's tough for Tribe Gaming. They did at some points look decent, but just nothing could really contest with STMN at this point, I don't think, and they're going to have to come in with some different game plan. They're not really going to have a lot of time between the previous game and getting into the next one, and it really is. It's a bit of a tough one for them now.
Yeah, and I mean, this ritual is getting interesting here. The shades are back on. Mr. Bobby coming fresh off a W. The cool man himself is ready to go. Maybe these are the championship shades this time.
I mean, it's working. Whatever it is, it's working right now. We've got all of our teams getting themselves prepped for the full reset. I saw OG passing out some waters, making sure everybody's hydrated up on the stage. You know, they're ready to go. We thought they might need a break between, and I'm glad that you guys mentioned this before because technically Tribe did come in cold, so maybe it was the lower bracket match that really helped start up STMN, but we're already getting back into it. Picks and bans, bracket reset for all of the marbles. Traven ready. Let's close this out.
Going to be a good one, ready. Let's see what we've got on the plate. Open Zone going to be starting things off on Hot Zone, and a completely different set of maps here as well. Bit of a different vibe, and I feel like that might help drive that a little bit more.
Well, I sure hope so. I mean, coming in with, cold fingers, not having that warm-up, a warm-up of just losses is not the greatest, but if anything, it's practice. They still do have a second life in this competition, and they're going to be using that to ban out Meg, Bell, and Crow. STMN across the way, getting rid of Stu, Pam, and Janet. Definitely some of these picks make a whole lot of sense to me. Some of these also look to me like STMN are banning out some of Tribe's comfortable brawlers, because this is exactly where STMN has profited a lot in this matchup before. Put Tribe into unknown territory. Don't let them play their game.
Bit of deja vu here as we see the first map, and the first pick is going to be B. Worked for them last time. We saw it in Brawl. It really did pay off, and I think on Open Zone, it's another one of those brawlers that just thrives so much. It packs a punch against some tankier units, some mid-range units that come down the side. Amber's such a big staple of a map like this, and B deals with it quite flawlessly. Lola's going to come in from Tribe Gaming, though. I think it's a good return pick after seeing that B. Got the ego to tank, the freeze frame to tank even more, and I think it's smart.
I'd go as far to say that the meta here in North America revolves in a lot of ways around B. So Tribe Gaming are going to have to play toe-to-toe with this brawler. STMN have a few ways that they can follow up on the Lola and the Gus selections from Tribe Gaming. It doesn't really lock Tribe Gaming into any particular strategy either with these two selections. Penny also still on the table. Very important thing to note, you're able to go toe-to-toe with B with it as long as you have some salty barrels at your disposal, and even if you have a super down. But here's the Amber and the Max from Stamina. We see a lot of times actually Czar playing the Max mid, but not on Open Zone.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised we didn't see them bring down a Penny, to be honest with you, especially against the Lola. I mean, it's a pretty solid pick against that. The ego being placed in front of you to splash straight through it. But on the other hand, I kind of like what they brought to the table. Aggressive play style, pick up the Max, pick up the Amber, burn through so much DPS, and they're going to need it. Amber can deal with the Lola quite nicely as well, burning through in the same fashion as a Penny would through that, but Bonnie is going to be up next, and I just don't know how I feel about it.
Neither do I. I mean, this is a brawler that's, quite slow, usually. Of course, you can use the gadget and get a bit of extra speed, but that's only 3 times per game. And you also get extra reload speed from it. You want to save that for the really important interactions when you're starting to try and play aggressive. If you're just trying to defend the lane, though, there's not a whole lot that you can do. Usually, you'll use those bushes on the right side of the map, especially if we're talking enemy side, where Tribe Gaming find themselves as an avenue to get your way up to mid. But with Amber as one of the brawlers on Stamina, that's simply not going to happen. You get that Amber super for free by throwing down your super, or rather throwing down your gadget, and then using the star power that gives you your super charge over time as long as you're standing in the fire fuel. STMN Esports predictably going to be running that Amber on the right side, but instead of going immediately towards the right, trying to claim that mid area to boot. Tyrant now trying to push in as a result. Does manage to claim a bit of room, actually. And Tribe Gaming start to fight toe-to-toe with STMN, already getting that first kill and looking to pinch off Bobby for the second.
Getting the second kill as well. Sans is the only one surviving, and it's the Sans show from STMN, and it's working so far, but Tribe Gaming have that percentage lead. Now a little bit of fight back as Czar gets his super as well. Bobby's going to be able to use that and amplify his speed to go forward and get some damage down. I'm not sure how it's happened. Tribe got all the kills, but STMN have all the control.
Still might be able to grab it back, though. Tribe Gaming having a very important super on their side. Tyrant has his super. Could get in close range for his body, but it's not even necessary. Might decide to use it on Sans, as he's now used that super. Czar retreats into the bushes on the left side. STMN Esports. That score line is paused. Tribe Gaming continue to rack with the points, now usurping STMN's lead. But Sans with a no-look fire to the left side does manage to take him down and starts reclaiming some of this positioning for STMN.
Yeah, Bobby throwing down that fire and burning the bushes down. I should say ice with the skin, I guess. Tyrant got hit by it as well. Has this jump in. Might be worth using it, but Czar's with the speed. He's going to be able to pretty much get out of the way of wherever he lands. Going to go vertical, and surely a phase shifter needs to be coming out now. Doesn't even need to use it to get the pickup, and they've taken such a big lead, 20% at this point. But STMN, they're hammering down once more. As Libby's falling low, he falls even lower as well with a little flurry of shots from Czar, and Bobby holding the right so well also.
They have all these 1v1s down to a T, exactly exactly where they want to be, and here comes the speed as well. Sans, Zar now trying to encircle that right side. They lose Bobby along the way, but it's no matter. They still can close this one out. Just a few more percentage to acquire. Sans not able to completely fend this one off, but Zar is going to try and pick up the pieces. Just a few more percent. Bobby remains alive, and Tribe Gaming not able to stop it. That's game one going to STMN.
Yet again, I just can't help but back STMN throughout this one now. Tribe, they got the kills. That's off the start. They had like 2 or 3 kills instantly. But no, the percentages didn't reflect it whatsoever. And I don't know if they're just not playing the objective to the best of their standard. But STMN, they had a worse start, but they still persevered through.
They might be able to get a good start this time too already. Tribe Gaming has kind of figured out what their rollout is, but it hasn't really helped them a whole lot. Stamina Esports still get that first take of mid and now start to burn up the back lines as Livy and Tyrant combine forces on the right, might go for a pinch. Zar and Bobby try to force the 1v1s though. They're also taking advantage of Zulon being left alone on the left side, and it's an easy win for them. Tyrant all the way backed up, tagged up by Bobby, flaming them down, and as Livy could be the next one to go if he dares step inside of this fire field, which Bobby's laid down on the right.
Yeah, really nice positioning from STMN now, and it's 50% already. Zulon, he's slowed down. He can't keep in front or behind, or should I say, of his ego, but eventually does get there with a little bit of back off from Sans, but shots come through as Livy's going to burn down. No super's going to keep him alive there. Tyrant getting shot at as well. Jump comes in, but Zarfe shifted towards him. He jumped over him. Nice stuff. First signs of life from Tribe, and they get their first percentage.
First signs of life is correct because really they were sitting at 0% prior to that one push. Now they can finally start to pick up the pieces, but STMN Esports are looking clean and they're looking alive, healthy, speedy. Now moving up the left, an oppressive force that they take down Zulon as Livy now has to pop that super on himself as an emergency. Does get the takedown along the way, but Zar and Bobby remain alive. Now crossing that threshold of no return. Bobby left alone on the point, but he's only the one that's needed. STMN Esports, they close out game number 2 with an even more dominating lead.
As you're taking the words right out of my mouth, I was going to say that was even better for STMN, and it was hard to get better than the previous one as well. Tribe didn't see the zone until 75% was already accumulated by STMN, so beautiful, beautiful gameplay from STMN here, but at the end of the day, Tribe, they're just falling further and further behind, and they can't carry on like this.
Might be able to recoup things. It's certainly going to be a tough ride because they've already taken 3 set losses in a row. Adding a 4th to that would be absolutely devastating. And, of course, they've gotten the reset opportunity. You can tell the pressure's starting to get to them, though. A bit of a miss super there from Livy. That's going to cost them quite a bit, though they still do manage to hold on to a bit of control at mid. STMN Esports now with the retake still being shoved off quite effectively. Good tags from both Gus and Bonnie at mid, but as Livy falls in turn. Zar, Bobby on the right side, and now finally get to burn up some of these bushes, denying a lot of entry through that method of the right lane. Bobby continues firing things back, using that penetrating shot to deal with Zulon, and STMN Esports continue to expand their lead.
Tyrant jumps in now as well, should be traded out by Zara, and Bobby on the opposite side does get the kill, but not without Zulon getting a few shots onto Bobby along the way, getting him low and backing him off this point. Ego's up as well, which increases that damage output from him, but instantly has to back off. A 3v2 is not winnable for him, and Sans knows this, pushing down the left-hand side now as well. Zulon's going to be burned down by Bobby and Zar pinching in, and Sans is handling the other two, keeps them back, and now the lead is even bigger.
Bobby can continue to expand this too. On the right side, he has that fire fuel down as Livy not provided with a whole lot of avenues for making his way to that point, and the speed is also making him quite unhittable, but Bobby still does get tagged up a little bit. Fiery response from STMN. Zar's got the dodges on lock, though the max mid is just so good, and Tyrant falls. There's no response from Tribe Gaming, nothing they can do. Final phase shifter in, and STMN Esports sweep, powering through that very first set.
I mean, that was incredible from STMN. First game, good. Second game, almost perfect. And then the third game, the same again, almost perfect. Not really any signs of life from Tribe Gaming whatsoever. Seems like they've got worse since the break they've had. No, clearly not enough time for them to recollect and make a move towards this second game between them and STMN Esports. And it's getting to the point where this could be an embarrassment for Tribe.
Oh, the tilt is here, and hopefully it's not here to stay because Tribe Gaming looks so strong coming into the day. They were poised for success, and STMN Esports have already claimed 1 match victory for them, and it was a 3-set game. Such a sweep from them, and they're continuing to expand that sweep into a 4th set, potentially a 5th, unless Tribe Gaming are somehow able to bring this back and get that mental reset and move into this one with a renewed mentality.
Yeah, just 2 sets away from the overall victory for STMN now as well, and they look dialed in. Sans keeping up his incredible gameplay from the previous one as well, and that's what I mean. See, this is what I was seeing. I said this after the first game. Trying to get the kills, but they're not getting anything from it. They almost had the same damage as well, a decent amount of healing, but where was the percentage? Where was the objective gameplay?
It's simply the downside of how Tribe Gaming play. They play for the control, and while they do get area control, they get a respectable amount of kills. It's the positioning where they start to falter, and now it looks like the tides have sort of turned. It's no longer 50-50, 82-18. I never thought I'd see this being a story in this matchup. It has never been this dominant of a cascade in either team's favor in this classic matchup, but we're heading into Layer Cake for set number 2, and the bans are already in.
Yeah, and let's not forget either, it went from 50-50 to that kind of difference. Between 82 and 18, that's a massive, massive difference. Everybody losing faith in Tribe, and maybe they're even losing faith in themselves. That's why we're seeing them crumble like this. Layer Cake, Bounty, bans are in, STMN are gonna get rid of the Gene, they're getting rid of the Tick and the Penny. Tribe, on the other hand, getting rid of the Carl. Understandable, has that aggressive tendency. Squeak is gonna be able to use those residues so well, and Ash as well. You don't wanna see an Ash being played by Bobby running towards you.
Not only that, but especially not when Stamina has that last pick, which can be such an easy avenue for sneaking in a tanky brawler, which is where Stamina start to profit a lot in this particular matchup. Do you like the first pick from Tribe Gaming, though? I'm always a fan of Janet, of course, but on this one in particular, where you're able to throw down that drop the base, you get a whole lot of area control as a result. But keep in mind, Stamina, as they have that last pick, they don't have to run something that is good in close range. That might be quite good versus Tribe Gaming, but it all comes down to what sort of brawlers they select, which might enable some sort of thrower gameplay. Here comes the Max from STMN, and this can be kind of a risky one on a map like Layer Cake that is quite closed in, where you don't have a whole lot of area to move around. You can get really closed into some of those lanes, have to fight 1v1s instead of team fights, and she does get quite outranged in a lot of scenarios. But we've seen just how well Zara can fight with this brawler.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen some risky stuff from STMN and it still worked. So, I mean, why not try it once more? And I think Max, you know, it's going to be able to go aggressive. There's more than just Carl and Ash that you can pair with it. Barley's not the brawler I would have thought that would be, bear in mind, but it's a decent thrower, ticks out the way as well, and it seems to be taking over from the Sprout and the Grom that we saw, probably in, well, not really the previous meta, it seems like the same meta, but a bit of a discovery has been made clearly about Barley.
Yeah, this is quite interesting, but STMN, it seems like pretty much every time they draft a brawler that we're not expecting, they seem to do so well with it. They just know that this brawler is the method for success. And Barley, while I do have my doubts, since it's STMN picking it, yeah, sure, I'll put my faith in them. But Tribe can still respond to this quite intelligently. A Sprout response is a little predictable, but still a good way to go. I think this is how this matchup usually goes, is Stamina, they surprise Tribe with something, and Tribe responds a little bit predictably. And STMN know exactly that's how it's going to go, and that's where they really start to hammer down the weaknesses.
And STMN, they've got this last pick as well, so whatever Tribe take here, there's still a chance to be able to counter it out, or even just go full out and try take down the Sprout, have the Barley deal with what else they pick. Might be the smartest decision to make. So they've got a lot of things to account for here for Tribe Gaming. It's going to have to be a very, very smart pick. Something that's decent against pretty much all STMN could bring to the table. They're going to take the Stu. I'm not sure about it on Layer Cake. I mean, we've seen Stu today, and it's been absolutely played perfectly, but that was on the side of STMN, and I just don't know about it here.
Look, you'll be able to break through walls. You'll be able to deal with some of those real tanky brawlers that are trying to get up in your face, and no doubt they would if it's selected, because Max is on the battlefield. So break down the walls to deal with Barley, stay out of range of tanks to deal with those guys. Not a whole lot of real power pick options that STMN can go for the last pick, but they're still going to try and make that Sam work, and they will be able to get that close range assault onto Sprout repeatedly. And keep in mind, really, once they have that lead, they can just sit with Sam behind a wall, constantly fire that super ray, take damage, but it doesn't really matter. You're staying alive, and that's the objective. Stay alive, don't die, and don't forfeit any of those stars.
Yeah, I mean, that's the plan in pretty much all the Brawl Stars. Don't die and you'll be fine a lot of the time.
So easy.
Yeah. why aren't we up there playing? Let's face it, it was that easy. But, I mean, STMN, I kind of like their comp a little bit more. I don't know. I mean, Stu is going to be able to dash away from the Sam, you know, but I feel like if they get spawn trapped, it's going to be very, very difficult to break out of that position. And yes, Stu can break through some of these walls, but a lot of the walls are unbreakable now, let's bear in mind.
It's something very important to keep in mind, and it's going to play to the benefit of Sands and, of course, Sprout in a lot of departments. Let's see how they're able to do with it. So far, Bobby going to get that early game takedown to Zulon, and Tyrant's trying to pursue. Here it comes. It's a long dash as well, and a takedown too. Long dash too, you don't see it a whole lot, but it is super, super powerful, as well as staying out of range of some of these long-range brawlers. Here comes the speed, though. Bobby can use a super, but he doesn't want to target Tyrant. He's got to go for some of these other brawlers that aren't able to fend for themselves in close range. Tyrant just trying to get away, and he does manage to do so. Sands trying to keep him back on the right side, but the long dash does save him for now, and Tribe Gaming remain in the lead.
Yeah, just the slightest amount, though. Bobby still, he's been feeding stars pretty much all game long. If that can make a difference. Oh, there's the double pull as well. Gets two of them, and as I say, can he make a difference? He does just that. Goes down along the way, but still brings the lead back into the hands of SDMN.
Tribe Gaming need to gear up for a big, big offense. They do have some time to do so, 55 seconds to be exact. And Zulon on the right side, unfortunate close range, does have to tank to the skies. Tyrant's able to pick up the pieces and sort of recover things, but they still don't have that lead. SDMN Esports got to start slowing down the pace a little bit, but no, they're actually determined to expand this lead a lot. Tyrant actually gets caught up in all of this aftermath. Bobby gets a close range kill too, but the respawns are so fast in this mode. Is Livy with a kill, but Sans is here to finish it off. It's 70-12, 30 seconds remain. Tribe Gaming now coming in for their final assault.
Yeah, super from Zara as well. Bobby's going to throw out that super once more. Force the flight yet again from Janet, and he's going to be able to keep on aggressing. The super's going to be able to heal him up nicely, but Tyrant does find the kill. Zulan's just too low, though. That should be a finish off from Sands. He's got 5 over his head, and it won't even make the difference at this point anyway, because Blue is with Zara, and he is on an absolute tear. Bobby once again aggressing, and SDMN, they can't be stopped.
Not a single L on the scoreboard for SDMN so far. They continue to expand their lead. A 4th game added to this absolute steamroll of a match so far, but it's not over yet. Tribe still can start to bring this back, but the Sam was just so oppressive. It didn't really seem like there was a whole lot that they could do versus it. Sam constantly targeting a different brawler, whether it's the Janet, whether it's the Sprout, and more often than not the Stu, right? That's the main counter, and the speed is enabling him to move away from this brawler so consistently, but he's no stranger to fighting in this matchup. No, he's able to take down Tyrant. A very aggressive play, and Tyrant immediately pays the price. Big gadget too, but SDMN Esports still do lose a brawler. Still just 1 star in the lead.
Yeah, long dash coming in. Tyrant's going to go towards Sands. Can he get the trade out, though? Bobby looking for the kill. Gets the heal off from his Knuckle Busters, but can't find any more. Walled off from his Knuckle Busters as well, and he might be able to get Zulan here. They've put a nail in their own coffin. Bobby goes down, though, and they get the trade. Back in the lead of Tribe.
Zara has the speed. This is an easy avenue up to mid for Bobby. Here it comes already. Could be a super down the left side as Livy's holding on to this blue star for his life, but he's going to need to put up a hedge to be able to deal with this. Bobby now launching the back lines. Is going to have to pay the price for that aggression, though. 13 to 8 stars. Important takedown for Tribe Gaming, but still a whole lot more Brawl Stars to be played, too. Just a minute left on the clock, and Zulon now tries to assault some of these backlines. Bobby takes advantage of Tyrant's overextension on the left side and could be a big kill on the right. There's a gadget in. Bobby, though, does pay the price too. Tribe Gaming remains ahead by just 4 stars.
Yeah, a bit of a negative trade there as well. Not the best wall, and Zal uses his speed, gets his Livy down. That's a good trade no matter what. Back in the hands of Tribe, but it's nailed down to 2 now. Bobby got super once more, and Sands has control. They might need a little super coming in from Sands. Zone him out to one of the sides, but the hedge is going to do that themselves. They've got a thrower. They don't have to back off. Bobby's going aggressive, maybe overly so. He gets taken down, but can Zar find Tyrant? Feeds him the super, and Gassy Heel's not actually going to be keeping him alive because he's using long dash. But Sands in a poor position now, survives out a little bit longer, and that should be Tyrant down. 4 stars is all it is.
Not a big lead for Tribe Gaming. SDMN Esports have to find some kind of way to push in. Here's the speed, but Bobby's blocked off by the hedge. Soon going to be expiring as Livy doesn't really have anything to back it up. Here it is able to block off Bobby for just a moment longer. 4 seconds left. Got to get away. Bobby closes in range. 26 to 29. Could be the final moment. No! Tyrant remains alive, and Tribe Gaming finally fire back. They interrupt the streak, getting 1 game for themselves.
I mean, this is what Tribe needed, a bit of a turning point, and this needs to be it. STMN have been, well, it's been STMN all day long, really, at this point. They haven't really had any issues through Wash Team, through Tribe in the first. They got the bracket reset, and now they're a set up. But Tribe Gaming, they need to find an answer.
Well, an answer they might find pretty soon, but first they're going to have to respond to Zar getting that blue star already. Big assault down the back lines. Bobby on the left side does get taken down. And SDMN Esports 1-2 kills, and another one as well onto his Livy. 8 stars on their side to a measly 2 on the side of Tribe Gaming. It's not a good outlook for Tribe because now they have to face STMN Esports in the driver's seat, playing into their hand repeatedly. Bobby on the back lines once again tries to get some kind of assault rolling, but it's not possible. He's being kept at range. Big super in from Sands, and it's enough to take down Tyrant, send him packing for just a moment longer, and 10 to 4 stars, a big lead for STMN so far.
I want to know what Sans ate for breakfast, because this man has been on an absolute tear today. This is, unmatched by anything we've seen today or yesterday. Zar coming down the right-hand side now, has the speed in hand as well. Zulan drop the base, but quickly eaten up by Sans once again. Zulan in a terrible position once more, but Sans now being aggressed. This could be what they need. Brings them out to 9, and Bobby's walled in rather than out. Gets the supers off as well, heals along the way. Zulan gonna take some fire, but Bobby still in the back spawn, can't get Tyrant down, and now the leads with Tribe.
Only barely so, though. Tribe Gaming still having to play super defensive. They only have one gadget left, and it is on Stu. Not really the most impactful, but he will be able to get a bit of extra damage out from this breakthrough. Zar now with yet another phase shifter. He's got to have only one left for the remainder of this game. Bobby also with another gadget on his side. Big miss there. Zulan now takes to the skies, but really as Livy has to head for the hills, Bobby could get countered out. There's a gadget, sucks him in, and still a lead as Tyrant continues to expand this. Zulan firmly in position at mid-range to defend anything that comes their way. This could be the turning point for Tribe Gaming. They still need to get this game victory, but the clock continues to tick down, and STMN Esports have just one more push left in them.
Yeah, I mean, Bobby's going to not even get the heal off there either. Got the suck in, but not anything more. Zar can't zone him towards Sands, and he's walled off. It's going to be another Tribe game in their hands, and if they can win the next, it's going to be 1-1.
The streak could be starting for Tribe Gaming. It's very, very possible. They got their game faces on to absolutely locked in. They've located the winning streak. Now it's time to maintain it. They can turn this into a set victory, and STMN on the opposing side just kind of struggling. They're not able to make the big moves that they were with Sam in that last game. Tribe Gaming have sort of found the Achilles heel. They repeatedly take down Bobby, gear up for a defense with him. They got that lane switch up that they need, as Livy especially manages to keep himself out of harm's way, and Tyrant is simply gliding all over the field. Long dash really putting it overtime today.
I mean, Bobby's just being too over-aggressive at this point. I know you kind of have to with Sam, but he's making surely the wrong decisions in here somewhere and just feeding stars after stars instead of being that more controlled aggression that we know STMN do love to play. Zar gonna get hit once, gonna have to phase shift out of that position, and Sans throws down this healing tonic to try keep himself alive, and does keep himself alive, but Zulan aggressive now, gets the takedown, but actually it says Livy who gets it up top. Bobby gonna turn around and try get his Livy, does get one, but can't get the heal, and the lead widens.
Zar almost falls on the left side, though he does have a super in hand. It's going to be useful for getting Bobby towards those back lines, but they're on complete opposite sides. Could be used to get both Sands and Bobby in the same go, and now it's drive time up the left side. Bobby completely denied. Now on the right side, Tyrant trying to stay out of range. They're all low on health. This could be the avenue for Bobby to start moving in, but he's without his Knuckle Busters. They're all the way towards the enemy spawn, and he ends up falling as a result. He's throwing these Knuckle Busters, but he's not able to follow up, and Tribe Gaming are absolutely punishing for it. But here comes the last call from Sands, pushing Tyrant all the way to the right as Livy and Zulan trapped on the right. There's nothing they can do. No super. Zulan just barely manages to clutch his way out of there and almost gets the kill on Bobby. Need to see the follow-up, and here it is from his Livy. Great comeback for Tribe Gaming, but it's not over yet as one kill onto Zulan, who continues to tip the tides just a little closer in STMN's favor.
Yeah, Sans not feeding Tyrant, but sadly for STMN, Bobby does just that. Zulan gonna try and get flight, but he can't get his super in time. Sans throws out a super, and that's gonna zone him straight towards him. Prime time for Sans as he takes 2 of them down. Zulan remains but 15 seconds. It's now in the hands of STMN.
It's got to be a kill on a Sands as the only person that can give them the win, but Bobby's now all the way towards the front lines, taken down. Could be one last move. Zulan needs to land on Sands, but he's not able to do so. Final shot in. No, he doesn't land fast enough. And STMN Esports take the game. We move on to set point.
I mean, this bounty is back and forward, but it's 2-2, and STMN have the momentum back in their hands. A little bit sketchy towards the later periods of that game for them. They got the turnaround, and then Bobby kind of went in, gave him a couple of stars, and almost got the takedowns onto the rest of the team. But STMN, they're one set up. It's 2-2 in this one. It's a decisive moment.
Tribe Gaming still holding their own on the left side, really dedicating themselves to this Bobby lane, trying to shut him down early. Already healing Herbal Tonic in from Sands, trying to keep himself alive, also trying to provide a way for Bobby to start pushing in. But he's being a lot more conservative with that super now, not throwing it all the way into enemy fences. Here comes yet another healing Herbal Tonic. STMN are determined to keep up this aggression and get something out of it, but they won't be getting the kill, not on the left side, not so far at least. Zar, he didn't follow up on that shot, and he had to bail a little bit early. Otherwise, he would would have gone down. And Tribe Gaming remain in the lead by just 2 stars, now doubling to 4, and maybe even compounding as Zulon now heads for Bobby, trying to take his life. Tyrant follows up, and it's just a rock star performance for Tribe.
Yeah, Zark gonna survive it out. 6 stars to 1 now. Sans can find a pathway through there, and Bobby can as well, but Zulan getting some great shots on Zara on the left-hand side. A little bit of swap coming in. He might be feeding him super along the way, but Janet just doesn't have enough damage to deal with. Bobby needs some help from his team, and that he is getting from Libby. Throws it towards those Knuckle Busters, but does bait out and switch. Heals coming through. Herbal Tonic as well gets the heals off. Zulan gonna throw up in the air. Gonna get the flight and just surviving out a little bit longer, but STMN are making their push, and they're trapped in spawn.
Yeah, and they're trapped in there with Bobby, too. Or Bobby can just decide to leave on his own accord. Still, they're only down by 1 star. There's the trap, a Hedge coming down the left side, but the speed is going to enable Bobby to push in on the right. Tyrant and Zulon kind of locked in this area. Zulon getting sucked back, but it's no problem. Take down into Bobby. Zar, a little cross-eyed, not really sure which target to go for. Zulon takes advantage of this and takes him down. 10 stars on the side of Tribe Gaming, but 15 seconds is just enough time for Bobby to start moving back in. Has that super in hand. Final push, and now counting down the clock. Sans falls first. Zar soon after. Bobby now with 1 kill, needs to double that to yet another as Livy just out of range. And Tribe Gaming are going to be taking this set victory in such a close one.
I mean, this is what we want to see. STMN, they swept the bracket reset, and Tribe are now fighting back 1-1 as they take Bounty, and STMN have finally got some opposition to play against.
A real opponent, maybe it is. Really just warm up those thumbs, get some good action out there on the field. Tribe Gaming now finally finding their footing in this competition, but the nerves are not gone just yet because it's been proven really anything can happen. A reverse sweep of the set, I'll take it any day of the week because in a best of 5, there's a whole lot more Brawl Stars to be played on the same map. We saw so many developments over the course of this last set.
Yeah, it really is intriguing to see these best of 5s, and even bracket resets as well. The amount of maps we get to see these teams play so diverse and allows us to really take a little bit of a deep dive into what comps these guys are wanting to be playing. Saw a few missed shots there from Eslivy on Zar, but it didn't stop them from getting the kill in the end. Great stuff overall from Tribe Gaming in this set. They didn't give up hope, regardless of losing 4 sets in a row, bear in mind. They still have some fight left in them.
Yeah, you talk 4 sets in a row. STMN Esports, they looked a little bit invincible, but now Tribe Gaming have proven that they can bleed, even on this kind of match day when they are gearing up for such an amazing journey. We're headed into set number 3 momentarily, but what a last set. It's been proven. Tribe Gaming, they can fight toe-to-toe with these guys when it really matters most, and what a slugfest it was. 101 to 100. If that does not spell out close for you, then I don't know what will.
Yeah, I mean, we never see stars this high, but we've just seen 5 games of Bounty, so I'm not surprised. 99,000 damage coming out of Tribe, and STMN only going to delve out 61,000. So a big difference, but Tribe Gaming, they didn't have as much HP to be able to soak up that kind of damage as well, so still was very close. Should we get into the next one shortly as Tribe Gaming, NA, and STMN Esports are in a close affair. If you're just joining us, we have had a bracket reset in the finals of the Snapdragon Pro Series Season 2, where STMN took it in a swift 3-0 into the second game. We've had Open Zone, where STMN have won it, Layer Cake, where Tribe have finally answered back after 4 consecutive set losses, and now we land ourselves in Safe Zone on Heist.
Well, it's Safe Zone, but it's no safer than any zone that we have seen so far, because really it's starting to accelerate and the heat's starting to crank up as we see our bands start to fly in. B, Amber, and Grom on the side of Stamina, and Tribe banning out Daryl, Max, and Grom as well. Some Grom haters, but you know what? I'll get on the Grom hate train. He's just such a darn good brawler that I'm glad we're not going to see him.
Yeah, and I can get behind that as well, especially on this map. It really is disgusting to see. But Thrower's still very much on the table. Other than that, I do like the B and Amber bans as well. Not really... I don't know if we see Amber too much on a map like Safe Zone. I'm not sure if you've seen it over here in NA as much as I have around the rest of the world. But I like the ability to levitate over the water. Always a helpful one.
I will say the Amber ban, I think, enables in a lot of ways the 8-bit gameplay, which is something that we've seen Stamina and Tribe both play before, but Stamina more so than Tribe, so they could be going for this. It's risen a little in popularity here in the North American region, but they're not going to be picking it just yet. Here comes the penny. They got to be picking their mid pretty soon here, because they do have that last pick, and it's just generally not really the greatest plan to be picking at that mid as your last selection. That's when you bring in some of the counter stuff, the tricky things as well. Tribe have done their due diligence, banning out one of the trickier brawlers to face, Daryl on their side, and already an Eve selection on their side as well. I think starts to spell out which lanes they're going to be going with. Here's the Bell selection, and this is probably going to be Bobby playing this brawler at mid.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me either. I do like what STMN have brought to the table here, you know. With those bells, you're going to bounce it off that Parasite egg, and the Parasites are like that Eve is going to be spawning in. Penny, on the other hand, splash through, obviously a very, very good idea as well. Kind of stops Tribe from taking a lot more of those different kind of brawlers as well, Lola, those kind of things, and also they're both very good against a Colette or something like that. Could come down a little bit later on through the draft. But STMN's Comet does kind of feel like they are kind of stuck waiting for the actual map to have some moves develop because they can't do anything. They can't levitate over the water, and obviously an unbreakable wall over the right-hand side of the map is not going to be very helpful towards them. Nani, on the other hand, you pair that with the TP, and obviously the ability to levitate over the wall for Eve. There's a lot of moving in there.
Yeah, not a whole lot of ability to shape the map to your will, as you just pointed out. So you got to be finding a way to navigate around some of these walls. Could be some kind of thrower pick coming in the last one. It wouldn't totally shock me, and Tribe absolutely have to consider this as an option. They do have the Nanny on their side now. You can teleport in with Warp Blast if that's how you like to play. But here's the Colt from Tribe Gaming. That's a little unorthodox, but you know you got to bring in some significant way of damaging the enemy safe. But the counterplay from Stamina is simply going to be exactly that, counterplay, not necessarily a counter pick, but dodging out the shots from Colt is the name of the game.
But why Colt? Why not Brock? Brock's still on the map. It's so confusing why they bring that over the Brock. It does damage. It got the Incendiary built into its kit a while ago. Colt's a lot harder to hit those shots. And also Brock's surely got to be better against that Penny as well. Carl going to come in as STMN, flying across the water, and that's the piece they were missing. I'm STMN all day here.
If you ask me, it's got to be Colt to deal with some of that wall break, right? Get some of the walls broken open, deny a potential tank pick, and also way better at dealing with tanks than something like a Brock would. But I'm seeing what you're saying, and not able to lock in as consistent of safe damage as Brock. So it's more of a multifaceted selection that they've gone here. And of course, it is a very tough brawler to play. It's not as cut and dry as picking out the Brock here. So Tribe Gaming taking a bit of a risk with this brawler selection. But this is exactly what helped them in that last set. And they've got to be playing STMN's game here. We've already learned that now.
Definitely so. Well, as the game kicks off, we're at 1-1. Wall break coming in from Carl. Colt already breaks up that and allows Nani to have that little bit more movement through the mid. Tyrant needs to make some moves and get some damage on safe, because that's pretty much all he's here for. Already signs of life from STMN as the first shot goes towards that high safe.
Tyrant trying to contribute some damage onto that safe. Will be able to do so. Bobby and Czar also trying to hold him back, but great shots being lined up by the guy on the right lane. Now maybe some moves coming in from his Livy. Takedown from Tyrant on the Bobby. Bit of a slow onto his Livy. Not the biggest of a deal, though. Tribe Gaming have won this mid matchup. They've broken open some of the more important walls for STMN Esports, but still, they only boast a marginal advantage on that score. Big risk for Tyrant. He knew he was going to go down there, but he decided to risk it all for a bit of safe damage, and now Czar's going to fire back around that right side.
Shots coming through from Bobby, a little bit of damage on, and they do take the lead along with it as well. Czar going for this damage, and the peeps just going past, going for the damage. Can they match the damage output that STMN could put out here? Damage gear activated as well. Czar trying to find the kill, and the pirouette along with it would be a big, big thing, and damage gears all round for STMN. But they're getting something up top. 2 of them still alive, though, and 12% left, and they're cleaned up. Tribe, they have a chance.
It's a consequence of Tribe deciding that not only are they going to go for the base race, but they were going to allow Tyrant to go super, super aggressive on that safe for just a bit of bonus damage. Now they continue to fire back, though, continuously dwindling down the health of STMN's safe, but they have been forced back to that mid area. Czar and Bobby are gearing up for a big offense. Czar has yet another gadget at his disposal. Could also combine that with the super for some easy damage. Here comes the super in from Nanny. Big aggression from Czar. Immediately pivots to Tyrant. Now he's got that position on the right side. It's drive time for Tribe Gaming, but they cannot contend with what Czar has to offer on the right side. Easy filter in from Sands and Bobby, and it's a STMN victory.
Yeah, I really did not like that play from Eslivy down the mid on the Nanny, TPing up when we see he's still got a flying hook. He's got a spin. What can a Colt do about that? And then he's just going to go straight for the safe, and even the rest of STMN don't have to worry about it. And they can just go and do more damage on the safe because of the vast lead that they did have, 30%, I believe it was, something like that. And STMN, they're going to be taking the first game of safe soon.
The Carl's been so troublesome for Tribe Gaming so far. Not only is it annoying because he's constantly peeking around those walls, which Tyrant is not able to do innately because he has picked Colt, but also he's such a nuisance nuisance in that back right corner. Once he positions himself behind some of those walls, which Tyrant, might I add, can break open, he's not able to do so very quickly. Here comes the super in as Livy now some damage contributed on that save, but Tribe Gaming have to play defense. Here comes Zar once again positioning himself around some of those walls. It could be Tyrant's job to break some of them open, and he does precisely that, but there's just a shred more of blocks for him to hide behind next time he fires himself up there.
Yeah, Bobby trying to find Tyrant, but can't get it. The super's there as well. Damage gear on top of that also. That's 19% damage dealt just there. Zar going to go for the damage forward, and a TP up from Eslivy once more. Positioning is not on point yet again, but a bit of damage does come out of it, and they can clean up Zar up top too.
Good damage lead so far for Tribe Gaming, but they have to make sure that they have his Livy back to the front lines as soon as possible. Here he comes now, opting to take that mid-roll. Bobby still trying to dodge out some of these shots. Doing quite a good job so far. Zar also getting tapped up just a bit, and the first mortar on the left side from Sands is going to be getting damage for free. It forces Tribe Gaming to start pushing in because they're not going to be able to take the aggro of that turret unless they take it down or get real close. As Livy could be coming in for the Warp Blast though, and now it's Zar's responsibility to play defense. Along the way though, Tribe Gaming are taking a whole lot of damage, and STM Esports rain down so much fire.
Yeah, Tyrant eats a shot there right in front of the penny, and that did like 6,000 damage on safe. Perfect for them. 22% left now, and the mortar gonna reconnect onto Zulan here, and he jumps out. He's not gonna have any messing around with that, but a 2-tap from Bobby answers to Tyrant's control. Good stuff from him. Zar still got a flying hook as well, just needs to heal up. It's 55 to 22. What can Tribe do in this position? Damage comes down. STMN surely got to finish it off. Zar looking for the safe now as well. 2 safe zone games to STMN. 1 more for the set.
Very close calls here so many times. It seems like Tribe, they're very apt to go for that kind of base race strategy. They know that they get the best DPS if they get Colt connecting on the safe or if they get that Nanny teleport in directly on the safe. And sometimes it actually looked quite good from his Livy. He gets a teleport in, he engages the 1v2 and still comes out of it with a good amount of safe damage and rolls right back up to mid like nothing ever happened. But Zar is such an issue for Tribe Gaming to deal with, and then once they've dealt with him, here comes Sands with his mortar around the left side. There's so much for Tribe Gaming to focus on, and it puts them at a pretty big disadvantage here.
I love how confident Bobby is dodging these nanny shots. It's beautiful to see. He just can't really be hit. Say that, and he does have to retreat just a little bit, but the pinch coming in from Tyrant didn't really help his case too much. Zar now, but he's just followed up with 2 more shots, and Bobby will be the savior of Zar there. TP surely got to be coming in from Eslivy, and it does just that. Should be able to clean up Zar on the back foot. But Bobby's going to answer that question and take him down himself. Only 2% in it, regardless of Tribe getting some good TP damage.
And they might be able to teleport in yet another. Could see that Warp Blast coming in just a moment. Here it is, already around that left side, circling back and positioning himself in a tricky area. Sands tries to keep him down. Won't be able to do it alone. Bobby needed to contribute around the top side, or maybe not. In fact, he was able to be a one-man army, but Tyrant fires away. Big super into that safe, and Tribe Gaming continue to lay into it. 64% remaining. Now they have to go for the slow and steady retreat back to mid. Make sure that they keep this control without falling. Bobby and Sands barely staying alive. Zulon taken down, and the same for Sands, but Bobby stays alive, now migrates over to the right for a big pinch.
Oh, that's lovely from Tyrant. Gets the kill, but traded out quite quickly by Zar. Eslivy looking for another Warp Blast up top, but a swift flying hook in from Zar gets some damage on him before he TPs, and he'll get some damage on the safe after he does as well. Tyrant's gonna fall. Damage gear's there as well. It was all going so well for Tribe, but how quickly they have fell. Sands drops the salty barrel in front of the safe and gets some more damage. Tyrant will take a shot, add some more on as well, and this is difficult for Tribe.
Well, looks like it could be a comeback, though. Only 2% lead for STM Esports, but they continue to filter down this left side. Bit of a nest egg popped on the left side, too, and Mortar now raining down fire upon Zulon. As long as he stays alive, he's able to take that attention away from the safe, but Zar is fully focused in. Here he comes in close range. Tyrant trying to do his best, but it's right on top of him. Zar stays alive. Zulon also helps take him down as Livy on the right, now pushing in. Could get that last play, but it's only 7% remaining on Tribe Gaming safe. Now, take that back, count it down to 6. Here comes that peep in. It's got to be the final play as Livy trying to get the defense and take down Zar. This could be it. They all have to stay alive. 24 to 1%. It's the 1% victory potentially. Big slow in super from Tyrant, but it's not enough. STM Esports, they clutch it out and they take set number 3.
In a very convincing fashion as well. Not the Tribe we saw in the previous set. As we said, they showed signs of life in the last one. They brought back the first set after dropping 4, but now they drop another one in a terrible, terrible fashion as well. 3-0 win that one to STMN. One more set, and they'll be the Season 2 champions.
They might just make the hat trick happen once again, but of course we gotta look at what exactly are they doing here, and more importantly, what are Tribe Gaming doing? Because it seemed like in a lot of situations, Tribe Gaming, they have a fairly good lead. Then they commit really, really hard on a big play, and it absolutely comes back to bite them. And once STMN Esports have located a pain point, they do not let off the gas.
Yeah, I mean, each one of those shots from Sands with the salty barrel in front of it does like 5,000 damage. Tyrant tanked one of his own along with that as well, and just seemed like there was mistakes. And still, I'm gonna have to back myself up on this one and double down on how I just don't really like the Colt pick. If you're scared about tanks and stuff, there are better picks. You don't necessarily need a wall break on a map like this because there's just not that much to break with the unbreakable wall there.
That, and also it's Colt, right? We saw just how troublesome that was for him to deal with the Colt. And yeah, once again, it's exactly what we've seen from Tribe Gaming. This is precisely it. They get more kills, but the objective seems to be forgotten at some certain times. It's a different approach that they're taking to try and deal with this. Once again, they're control players, but it seems like in this day and age, that kind of prowess is being left behind.
Yeah, and we saw it in Hot Zone as well. It's just gotta focus on that objective because this is just not a position you want to be in. Pretty much 3 games and they're going to be out of this competition where they literally coming through the winner's bracket. STMN had to beat them and then beat them again, and at this point it's looking very, very likely that that's going to be the case.
Certainly, as you can tell, the pressure is starting to get to them too as it's ramping up for our very next set. Everything's starting to come to a head unless Tribe Gaming has something to say about it. They need to clutch out the next couple of sets to take a victory and get their first win up on the stage, upsetting and dethroning the Season 1 champions going into this one. It's going to be a really, really, really rough ride, but Tribe Gaming have to dig deep and make this one work. We're heading into Bell's Rock for set number 4.
Yeah, better knockout coming up next, and it's that kind of slow play style which Tribe like, but it can quickly be adapted by a play style like STMN to just go all out aggression, and surely that's what they're going to be reaching for once again. It's been working for them, even with a composition like Penny Bell. They're running forwards and just doing what needs to be done, getting the damage, playing the objective, and getting those aggressive plays through. STMN going to ban out the Barley, the Tick, and the Grom. No throwers for Tribe Gaming unless they want to take something a little bit more unusual. Tribe going to get rid of the speed of Max, Bonnie, and Gray as well. They don't want any of those quick plays coming in. As we said, that's what STMN like.
I want to give everyone a bit of a history lesson here because this strategy worked for STMN Esports the last time they faced Tribe Gaming in the Season 1 finals. They said, yeah, we'll ban out every thrower on Bell's Rock, and it just worked. It was one of their worst maps, and they still managed to make it work. That, of course, sourced from their coach from the last season, but Tribe now taking the approach to pick that one thrower, but it is their first pick, and there are quite a few brawlers that could be considered for that first pick here. It does take things out of STMN's hands to go for that as their last pick, and Tribe, they're trying to be adaptable here.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying, unless they want to throw that's not as good, I might completely slip press Sprout because you kind of expect that to be banned ahead of Barley on a map like this, I feel. Gene's going to be up next from STMN Esports as their answer to that. Maybe want to get through pulls through these walls and kind of get going in that mid, not make it as easy for Sprout, but there are unbreakable. So it's going to be really hard no matter what.
I feel like history is repeating itself because this looks like a very, very similar draft to what we saw in the Season 1 finals on this exact map, in this exact matchup. Once again, a history lesson for all of you folks. This is not the first time it's been this map, these two facing in the exact same bans from Stamina. But the question is, will it be able to work again? Tribe have already taken a different approach. Here comes the Sprout, countered out by the Gene, and then brought to break open some of those walls. They are determined to punish that Sprout pick.
Yeah, and I mean, you've got to be as well. The Brock, I do like it. I think it's very, very solid. And I said in the previous one, it probably would have been better played out in the last. But Piper is the return pick from Tribe once more, and I think that's very, very smart. You stick a Gene down one of those lanes, obviously going to have that kind of peppering damage, but no real damage coming through at that long, long range that's going to outrange Piper. So she's going to have a decent hand in that game. And obviously, you stick it against the Brock, and it's going to be able to thrive.
It worries me, though, because they have to be considering how are they going to deal with things in close range. Sure, Piper can run auto-aimer, but it's not what you want to run here. Piper, you pick her for her long-range matchups, and especially versus Gene versus Brock, you've got to have that homemade recipe at your disposal. Here comes the B as their final selection, able to deal with some of those closer range brawlers and still contest at long range. Tribe, they've kept themselves very, very flexible, leaning into some of the brawlers that they are simply innately good at. Comfort zone for them, and STMN Esports, they follow up with that nanny. They know these walls are going to be broken down, and even any walls that come up, they're going to be pulling through them with that Gene. They're also going to have good visibility on where those enemies are inside of the bushes as a result of Gene probably running that vision gear. So I'm curious to see how this one plays out, but Tribe, this is their lifeline. They got to take a set victory if they want to move on to the next one and have even a chance of taking the victory.
Yeah, I mean, Tribe, they need to pull through here, and I'm just questioning the likelihood of that happening. How well STMN have been playing and how kind of dull Tribe seems to have been playing. Obviously, with the exception of that bounty set that we did see them do pretty well in. But overall now, we see them coming into this Bells Rock map. Sand should easily be breaking his left-hand side, and I must say how much I love this Nanny skin.
STMN Esports, once again, moving around that left side. Zar trying to get some good angles. Bobby also getting tagged up repeatedly, being reduced to really low health, but he doesn't back off too much, still trying to play versus Zulon at the edge of his range, healing up some health alongside him, and also getting Magic Puffs healing onto Sands. Sands on the right side, a bit out of his depth on this matchup, still gonna break open some walls, not too much cover left for Zulon, but still doesn't seem to be causing him too many issues. STMN Esports in a much more forward stance than Tribe Gaming, but it's not really earning them too much in form of kills. Of course, that's the objective here. Here comes the first peep in. Could find an optimal target as Livy reduced to low health, but still no kills so far.
Times like that where you wish Warp Blast was still being played, but Return Center just so valuable here, especially against that Piper, against the Bee, stuff like that. So you gotta really respect him for taking that. But in comes a rocket fuel from Sands, and it's huge. We do see some shots from Tyrant, but a rocket rain this time from Sands, not gonna connect, but zoning out Tyrant. Vengeful Spirit Snipe gets the kill, and Zar cleans up the left.
A swift takedown from STMN Esports, and Tribe Gaming didn't really seem like they had a whole lot of firepower to respond to that with, but they do have that Sprout super that they can use, especially versus Zar, who's forced to play around this wall as Livy now takes much more forward stance. Really long range pull and a guaranteed kill onto Zulon. It's up to his Livy and Tyrant to put those pieces back together, and they're trying their best, but another pull from Bobby completely blocked out by that turret as Livy still going for the damage, but Magic Puffs is keeping these guys alive. Yet another hedge placed down. Bobby has that avenue around the left side. 1-2 shots, especially with the Vengeful Spirits, and a takedown. Still could be a hero play from Tyrant. It's a 1v2.
Can he make it happen against this Gene? I just don't know. Can't really miss, and Tyrant can't really get in range without going through these Gene shots, especially with Sands here helping out as well. It's going to be a really difficult spot for them to be in. In comes the shots, and down he goes. STMN one step closer to taking it all.
And one step away for Tribe Gaming. A lost opportunity for them, but it seemed like STMN started to play this to perfection. Really did take Tribe outside of their comfort zone and really put them into unknown territory. You can tell, though, STMN coming into this one from the outset, they knew that they were going to go for this triple thrower ban and leave Sprout as the only thing on the table. Now, Tribe Gaming kind of left holding the bag because they have this Sprout that they're not really able to do much with.
Yeah, well, Tyrant now getting some heavy fire. Zulon over here not going to be looking too healthy either, but Bobby on the other hand, more of the same. Needs to try and recollect themselves, swapping lanes, trying to get Zar over towards this Piper. Got this this super now as well. The Peep coming towards, and Bobby resets that healing. Tyrant's got to find a tank, or the Peeper's got to miss. Not sure if Piper will be able to survive this one out, but it comes back, and they say goodbye to Tyrant instead. Sam's getting a heal by his limit, but the pinch is still there. Can't find the killing blow, and he's cornered himself.
Expert dodges from Sands and Zar as they manage to stay alive. Tribe Gaming really now on the back foot as Zulon is the last one to fall. Not a single death on the side of STMN Esports, and they got a couple supers at their disposal too. Bobby on the right side has this pull to use. Could get blocked out by B, and Zulon can just jump away. If he's able to catch someone by surprise, that would be optimal, or he could switch over to Face versus Sprout. But for the time being, gotta extend this match and get Tribe Gaming a little bit impatient. You can really understand how antsy they might be in this position. Here comes the peep in, and it baits out that super from Zulon. Bobby now can go for the pull, but he's not too apt to go for it just yet, as Livy now just in range. Here it could come. There it is. It's so free. And Tribe Gaming try to capitalize on this aggression. There's the kill. Zulon now could go for that step back. Sands now slowed down. Easy kill for Tyrant. It's a 2v1, and Zar's got to clutch it out.
I mean, Zar might at this joint. He gets from a return senders pops. They don't shoot him. Zulon can't find the killing blow on him. Zar can't hit the shot on Zulon either. It's a stalemate, but a homemade recipe will seal it. And Tribe is still alive.
And you can tell just how hesitant Zulon was to go for that play, too. He did not want to use Homemade Recipe in such close range, but he had to. You got to take what you can get, but he's fresh out of gadgets. Now, big takedown as Livy tried to shut down that Nanny play with the use of the hedge, but he was just a moment too late. And Tribe Gaming now are not in a good position, a 2v3.
Yeah, Livy looking like he can't really do much here. Return senders pops as well. He brought even lower. But hello, say to the Piper. Livy's going to go down. Zulan versus Bobby. Vengeful Spirit will seal it. STM and Esports going on to match point.
They're so close to victory. Taking this one in a 3-1 would be such an amazing record. Tribe Gaming, though, they're way closer than they were in Season 1. They can still make it happen, but they're coming in for the reverse sweep. They got to get at least one game victory to be well on their way to taking it all.
Instant break from Sands once again, getting rid of this left-hand side and making it tougher for Livy to do anything. A little bit of a lane swap as we see Zar head over to Zulan once more, getting that preferable matchup. No return to sender pops on that first one, doesn't help him too much, but did have to pop it that time, was a little bit cautious about it hitting.
Tribe Gaming trying to poise themselves for success, but they are missing a wall on the left side already. Zar also on very low health. Doesn't seem to bother him though. Zulan can go for that big play. Needs a connection on Zar here. It could come. Needs a gadget in too, but he's not going to pop it because he knows it's just going to be met with a return to Cinder. Bobby on the right also continues pushing and looking for that super. Big hedge in. Bobby sort of forced out of position. Brilliant stuff and a takedown with a homemade recipe by Zulan. Tribe Gaming find themselves in a 3v2.
Yeah, good position from Livy as well. Good wall up, and Zar's just going to accept his fate in the gas. Fall down on purpose. Try not to feed supers. Sans more of the same. Livy gets a shot towards his, though.
Good call. Cutting their losses for STM and Esports. Only one super to work with. It's going to be Zar firing in with this peep. Trying to do what he can. Looking for Livy. Does force him back quite a bit. Sends him down for the count just for a moment longer. Not quite a takedown just yet. And here's a hedge on the left side. Big aggression in from Sands. It's almost enough to send Livy packing, but not quite enough. Tribe Gaming are really struggling to find where they'll find their position here. Sands actually taken down through the wall with the use of Overgrowth, and this is a huge lead for Tribe.
Zar now going to get walled in, but there's a pathway out. Return to senders popped as well. He survives. The pull's missed by Bobby. That could have been the saving grace, but no, they're all going to fall. Zar should be behind them shortly, and Tribe are still in this.
It's not over yet, folks. Tribe still got a horse in this race, and a 2-0 round-wise is a great outlook for the future. Looks like they found some kind of way to get Stamina out of that comfortable position. We saw 1-2 mistakes in that last game, and Tribe absolutely profiting from it.
Well, more of the same from Sands coming out. Instant wall break over this left-hand side. Needs to try and find the right one shortly after, or it becomes a little bit pointless. There it is. Wall break comes down, and Zar over against Zulan straight away over this right-hand side lane. Livy's going to get pinched in as well. Bobby getting some firing shots down the mid. Homemade recipe does connect onto him as well, but really to no avail.
Could be a big play in. Zar going hyper-aggressive, pays the price in form of his life as Livy with the takedown and shuts down any ideas of offense on the right side for Bobby. He's got to shift gears now around the left side as Livy picks up that hedge, now closes in, but he's got to be cautious about using it once again unless it's absolutely necessary. He will be able to charge it up fairly quickly, but it is kind of tough if you're outranged. 1, 2, 3 shots, and Bobby is the next to fall. Sands is the last bastion of defense for STM and Esports within this round, but really a super is all that he can ask for as he tries to deny anything for the enemy side. Really nothing that he can do, though. Everyone on Tribe has a super. Sands has got nothing. A little pin up in the air, but it's a round win for Tribe.
One more round for Tribe to even things out in this knockout set. Let's not forget STM and Esports still a match point no matter what. Zar just trying to find some shots. Quick wall thrown up by Livy. Quite an aggressive one as well. Not really doing too much. Shots can still be found either side of it. Zar's going to get the super and maybe try and use it down here. Still, Honey Molasses available from Tyrants. The pull's not going to mean too much. Needs to try and avoid this, but it comes back round, hits Zulan and almost brings him down. A little bit of survival there, but Bobby followed up with 2 hits from Sprout. Can't quite find the pull just yet.
Bobby does have a pull, though. He can use this on someone. Tyrant has a Honey Molasses to block things off. Really, the ideal target is Livy. Might be able to do it, but still, he's got to switch lanes to make this one work. So far, not really a whole lot of plays. Here's a lane switch from Bobby, though. If Livy gets close enough, he might be able to go for that pull and really shift the tides of things, but so far, not at all. Tribe Gaming trying to stay in position. Tyrant forced back in a big way as Livy can go for that hedge. Now forces things back. Sands with a big takedown with a rocket fuel, and that accelerates STM towards a victory. Big pull as well for Livy. Tribe Gaming still can bring it back, but it's got to be a clutch.
Yeah, straight into the gas for him, takes the defeat, doesn't want to feed that pull again, or the rocket raid, because they are really, really strong in these opening seconds of the game. Bobby gonna have to try and pair his vengeful spirits with this, and he might be able to do it. Baits the jump out of Zulan, should loop that round, hits the Sprout, but gets nothing from it. Couldn't find Zulan. A good tank from Livy.
STM Esports are just one round from victory. Each of these kills could be permanent. Tyrant trying to dodge out a lot of damage as Liddy going remarkably offensive, and the takedown. Zar now going in for the final shot. Tyrant falls. Last rocket rain on the right side. A missed pull. It's got to be a hero play. A super to the sky, but the spins, the pins are out. The protesto. STM Esports are your Snapdragon Pro Series Season 2 champions.
Wonderful stuff from STMN. Hugs, jumps in the air, spins and pins, rubbing it to Tribe Gaming. But at the end of the day, it's all love between these teams. It's rivalry. It's beautiful. Incredible stuff from STMN.
They've done it again, this time fighting their way through the lower bracket, getting the hat trick once again versus bitter rivals Tribe Gaming. And what a stellar performance from STMN today.
Wonderful, wonderful stuff. They head towards their trophy.
Everyone, say hello to the reigning champions, STMN Esports, your Snapdragon Pro Series Season 2 champions.
What's up, guys? We tend to do this a lot, huh?
Yeah, I don't even know what to say. I can't believe that just happened.
We're getting kind of comfortable being up here as the trophy lifting Czar. #2 for the team out here in San Diego. Next is Tokyo. Big picture. How you feeling?
I'm just feeling great. We're going to celebrate tonight for sure, and we're going to do our best in Japan. I'm just confident.
All right, Sans, come over here. I want to talk to you, man. You and the squad have gelled, you vibed, you have your own thing going on. What do you bring to the team, and what does this mean to you?
For the team, I provide an aggro player. Like, I'm not going to sit in the back and wait for something to happen. I'm going to make something happen. And that's why we won today, I think.
Absolutely. I mean, your dedication, your impact on the field is felt. What do you have to say to the fans that have supported you since you joined this squad and brought it to the next level?
Thank you for all my fans supporting me all the time. Thank you to my teammates. Thank you to all my friends. And I'm excited to keep going from here.
And OG, being an integral part of this squad, 4-man roster, breaking barriers here in the world of Brawl Stars and doing interesting things. How does everything come together, and what's on your mind as you lift this trophy again?
I'm just happy we didn't lose. So they all played really good. So Sans kept going. He was popping off today. And I'm gonna have a lot of fun on Twitter today.
Now that I know is true. And I'm gonna come over here and end it on the big man, Bobby himself. I ask you a lot of questions and you answer a lot of them for me. Your turn. Whatever the heck you wanna say, bro, the floor is yours.
Well, we told you about the pregame ritual. Still undefeated with it. Big shout out to Toast, he knows why. And just thank you to all the fans that support us, and still undefeated at LAN and NA.
Bobby, OG, Czar, and Sans. They did it once, they did it twice. They are your Snapdragon Pro Series NA champions. Congratulations, boys. You've earned it.
I mean, FDOT said they did it twice, meaning their championship, but they did it twice today alone, even to get there. That was an insane performance from STMN.
I mean, it was flawless. It really, really was. They had a little bit of a hiccup in one set, but other than that, almost 6 straight.
Even when STMN make mistakes, they make it look intentional too because of just how powerfully they end off the day.
Yeah, I'm going to ask about that pregame ritual because something clicked today. I mean, it was 3-2 the other day, and they went 6-1 today. They're the best for a region, and I mean, at Japan, it's going to be tough to top these guys.
Well, we'll take a little bit of a look at some of the highlights there throughout this incredible series of games. It really, really was something special. Bobby and the boys started things off strong in Hot Zone with what was almost perfect. First game, a little bit of a hiccup here and there, but after that, it was perfect.
It absolutely was. I mean, really, just not really a whole lot dropped. We did see one set go the way of Tribe Gaming, but it's what you expect. They're such a strong roster, absolutely star-studded, and STMN Esports simply powered through, just bit down and powered through. What a finish from STMN Esports, but of course, it had some pretty good beginnings for them too.
Yeah, I mean, Tribe had their moment here as well throughout, and I think, you know, it's still a really strong team. The fact that STMN were able to do what they did today, more than earned. I mean, this is a best of five dad on top of that, and they had to do it twice. I mean, it's absolutely insane. I really do think in terms of the global scale, you know, they're taking a team that I respect as much as Tribe, and they made it look easy today. I mean, maybe it was the hot hand feeding Sands more plays, but whatever it was, it worked out today.
Yeah, well, I mean, you've kind of got to respect OG as well. Allowing himself to sit on that bench, just knowing how well his teammate in Sands was playing, it really, really was something incredible. And that's the kind of team play and team spirit that these guys bring to the table.
When they get in the zone, you just got to let them stay there, and that is exactly what they did, dropping really few opportunities there on the way to victory. And man, what a gauntlet it was for them today, fighting their way through the lower bracket and eventually making their way to the finals.
Yeah, I mean, you can see it here on the bracket, even with the reset, an almost flawless finals performance out of STMN. And of course, that means they take home the first place prize for our championship. That $20,000 going the way of STMN. Second place going to Tribe with that cool 10K. But both of these teams, also the two squads that qualified all the way through to Masters in Japan.
Yeah, I'm super excited to see what they can do. We already know 6 of the teams now that are going, and there's going to be 2 really solid teams later down the line that are going to add it as well. I don't know. I think they have a real chance. When I see this at a LAN setting, you know, the first 2-month online didn't necessarily go their way. They had a great regular season here, though. For whatever reason, ESL's their jam.
I mean, Masters is going to be incredible, so make sure you guys are prepared and ready to watch and wait for that. But before we sign off for the day, I'll let everybody get some final thoughts in.
I mean, I think my final thoughts are known. Just a massive, massive congratulations to STMN once more, because they did thoroughly, thoroughly deserve it today. I came into it thinking maybe Tribe were going to be able to defeat them again, but STMN said no to that. 3-0 and then a 3-1 to finish things off.
I mean, my prediction was wrong, right? We saw STMN come out on top once again, and Tribe, they came so, so close, but hey, they're still going to Masters, and of course, they wouldn't be able to do it alone, neither would we. Of course, we have to thank our partners for SPS at Samsung, bringing some of the best devices on the market, top shelf stuff like a brilliant display and lightning fast response time, 120 hertz, it's everything you need to be up on stage with the big leagues.
Yeah, and I mean, just a wonderful way to end off the weekend. Big congrats to STMN. It's always fun casting NA with you fellas. Glad we got to do it one more time.
It's been an absolute blast. I know everybody at home enjoyed it. I know everybody here in the audience had a fantastic time. But we have finally put a close on our Season 2 Challenge Finals, and STMN defend their title after fighting their way through the lower bracket. Congratulations to our champions, as well as all of our teams and players for phenomenal performances across the board. We have our Masters event in 1 short month in Japan, where we will be seeing STMN and Tribe compete again. So keep your eyes on all the Snapdragon Pro Series social accounts for upcoming information on all of that. As always, thanks so much to Snapdragon Elite Gaming, Samsung Galaxy, Monster Energy, DHL, and the U.S. Air Force for making this whole thing possible. Thank you to everyone who stopped by our stage at DreamHack or watched online. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll see you in Japan.
got to get it. I'm on the mission, snap any minute, casually winning. Stop tripping on me, stop dissing on me. Yeah, I got a dream, can't take it from me. My fire's burning, I'm always learning. Tell me where to go, man, I'm on a journey. Yeah, I can't explain it, I get excited. Keep it 300, King Leonidas. Strap in, cause it's gonna be a long ride.